We're live.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How y'all doing?
How's everybody doing on this Thursday night? I'll start right away with a great reminder that if you are watching on the replay, one, I appreciate you, and two, there is a live chat that's happening as we're speaking, and that is a great thing to follow along with while you're on replay, so you can catch all the conversation. We try to highlight everybody as it happens, but sometimes comments get skimmed right over, but they're gold. They're great. So there's a little live chat that you can open up and follow along, and that's how I watch replays.
Yay! I'm so glad to be here, you guys.
Yes.
Oh, I'm seeing Bethany and Janessa.
Hello, Cherokee and Jennifer and Tree Birds. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So I'll just go into, like, if you haven't seen this before or if you're watching on the replay, 5 for 5 Live is an idea that the dear Miss Audra over here made up over here. And basically, we're going to be both reviewing 5 products, and the key here is that we want your questions. We want to give you information, whatever. If you have questions about how to apply anything or related, whatever, you can ask whatever you want. That's what this chat is for. So that's kind of the focus. And if you are new as well, we are doing this for now. The plan is every Thursday night, and we're going to alternate between channels. So last week we were on Audra's channel. Audra's channel is linked in the description box.
It is.
Check her out. And if you didn't see last week, you should go watch it. In my opinion, it was quite lovely.
It was.
Awesome.
You have a lot of compliments. Like, y'all so nice.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh my goodness.
I was feeling like the most basic bitch today because I just wanted to do like a little spring look, like a little, like, we're not quite summer yet, just like a little beachy, a little.
You look great. And I have wig hair stuck on my face because I don't know how any human being with long hair wears lip gloss.
Girl, I don't either. I really don't. I have no idea how they do it. Hi. Sorry.
Everybody. Christine, Pam, Alex. Alex is having a delicious sounding snack. That is, Trader Joe's is the best. Hey, Chris. Oh, thank you, everybody, for all the compliments. Appreciate you.
And thanks, Jennifer. I actually got these on Amazon. I had to do something with this natural hair, girl. It was not, relaxers are scarce these days.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, do we want to jump right in? Do you want to start?
Yeah, let's just jump right in.
You're the guest here. I'll let you start.
Thanks. No, I'm being so weird right now. I'm sorry. Like, Bo is on the side. I'm trying to pay attention to both things because he wants me to give him head scratches. You will go to your room, sir. And you saw. I literally just finished walking him. So like his behavior.
Audra sent me proof of, like, I'm out walking Bo. And I was like, I believe you, but I appreciate that you wanted to share that information.
Well, like, I get nervous because everybody's like, they hear him barking. Like, you guys don't know. He went on like 17 walks today. And like, I don't know. Like, he just wants all the attention. But anyways, that to the side, I'm actually going to start with a product, like not like a tool, not a product. This is the Milani foundation brush. You guys, I fucking love this brush. I know that it's synthetic and I know people don't like they have their feelings or whatever, but I use this for foundation. I use it for my concealer, and it feels good on your skin. And the application, because I do what I call like a feather application, because I think a lot of people, we've talked about this before, but they'll get a full coverage foundation and just use way too much of it. And I tend to use a full coverage, get it on my hand, and then kind of do this with my brush. And then I feather the foundation on this brush is perfect for that. Just getting that feather application. There's no streaks, there's no patchiness, and it just looks gorgeous. And I get this beautiful skin finish. I used it today, so I'm just like, boss. And it's only like, I think it's maybe $13. It's not very expensive. You can get it in a Walmart or a Target. I think mostly Walmart is where I found them. And I say that because I think you can still go in there to get groceries. So any of you who are going into the store, if you want to grab a cheap foundation brush, that is the business. This is it. Like and I like the way that the handle is. Everything about it makes it very easy to use. Look at me, I'm over here. But everything about it is so easy to use, and it's easy to clean too. It's not a whole like arguey, like you just don't fight with it. I just soak it, and then most of the foundation comes off. And then I use a Dial antibacterial soap is typically what I wash my brushes with. So then I wash it, gets its shape back. I mean, I can't argue with that. So I just really wanted to highlight the fuck out of this brush because it is bomb. So you're looking for a cheap foundation brush. It's synthetic, but it does a very good job of application. Unless you think my application shit, which case it doesn't.
Quickly gonna say hi to Mascara, Kara, and Yolanda in the chat.
Hi, y'all.
Because I kept asking you. So Audra has been preaching the glory of the foundation brush over the sponge to me personally. Not that I would go against it, but I was just like, I mean, I have my shit, but I was kind of like, what brush do you recommend? And I don't know if I only said it once. I think in my head I said it about 10 times. So I'm glad you're talking about it today because I will probably be picking that one up. Feffy, why is YouTube hiding you? Hello.
I know.
Oh, it is called the Milani Foundation Brush, and there is a link in the description box for anybody that is looking to check it out because Audra was on top of her game and said something to me.
Rarely am I on top of the game. I don't know what happened today. I took like too many naps, and I guess maybe I just had like some excitement. I was like, woo! And I like went. I took Bo for a long ass walk. Coming back, was like, here you go, Em. And then I like took him for another walk. I don't know what happened there. I was just I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Apparently, it's something good.
You're winning at life. That's what's happening.
Yeah, Bethany, you're right. A good foundation brush is a game changer. And it's just weird because I used to be one of those people that really only used a sponge. But I found that a lot of times sponges, especially with full coverage foundation, I just felt like the sponge wasn't getting me the application that I wanted. It wasn't it wasn't blending the product into my skin and into my face. I felt like with a sponge, it felt like it was sitting on my face instead of like part of my face. And so when I started using a brush more often, I just noticed that the finish was better. And I was like, oh, this is nicer. This is nice. I've been watching too much TikTok, y'all.
Like it's really big, which is good because that's probably fast too.
It is, and that's what's funny is it is very fast. And you said that it's big, but it still gets your crevices, man.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that would kill me is like I could still do, if I wanted to put concealer on, I could still do concealer while I had my eyeshadow on. So it's not, you look at it and you think like, oh, that's a big ass brush, but it really does get in all your little crevices without fucking all your shit up. So that's the that's the professional term is gets in the crevices without fucking your shit up.
Professional over here for sure.
Yolanda, this is my natural hair. Yes, girl. Yes. This is what's happened. Relaxers are in short supply. I cannot see my stylist. I don't know how to do my hair. So this is where we are right now. I do have other wigs right now. I just recently washed it. So I'm getting it all before I put another wig on my head.
Nice. Wait, I see some good. Oh, Kara's talking about a microfiber sponge. I just gonna say I have no interest in those like Juno and Co. microfiber kind of sponges myself, but I do love the Shop Miss A Pawpaw sponge, and it's like less than $2. So if you're right now like thinking I could never do Beauty Blender or something, if you want to try a sponge, try that. I would say.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of Feffy. I get that about. Applying with your fingers unless it's a powder foundation. Powder product. I do think for a foundation, sometimes applying with your fingers can help kind of melt it into the skin. Just depends on the formula.
Yeah, I mean, I use a lot of full coverage and I use a lot of nourishing, like the Uma Beauty, Joa, Becca. Obviously, we're not going to get me to not say Becca, but all of those I would not want to use my fingers with because I feel like Honestly, a lot of them would probably end up a little streaky or thicker than you wanted them to be, and you would have some trouble thinning them out because they are full coverage. But I'm also kind of a freak about not touching my bare skin as much as possible because the oils from my fingers get on everything. So for me, I don't really like to apply my foundation with fingers because the oil from my fingers gets in there, mixes in, and my already oily skin, not trying to have that.
Yeah. I do think this comment from Alex is pretty handy. A YouTuber, Taylor Wynn, applies with the brush and then goes over with the sponge. That can also be a great way to like cover if your brush has streakiness issues and you don't really want to spend money on another brush or a different foundation. That can be a good way to like combat the issues and put
another cool thing about using a sponge is, for instance, if you have highlighters that are very sparkly and weird, like the Fenty one, the Kilowatt, I tend to apply this, I put it on, and then I go back over it with the sponge. Just slightly, very slightly damp, and I go back over it with the sponge so it doesn't look like a glitter bomb just on my face. It actually sinks it into the skin. So sponges do have their uses. Yeah. Not against the sponge.
I wanted to welcome inside the makeup drawer, Emily. I'm glad you're here. Glad you didn't miss it.
I know. Have y'all ran to her Instagram yet? Because I got to see her. Like, I was like, she's stunning. Just she beautiful. See, and I don't pay attention because you know what it is? I have so many different social media platforms that it's just like I start getting tired. I'm like,
I just wanted to say, Yolanda. So Yolanda said, I saw something on Instagram and threw away all my sponges. Someone cut one in half after 2 weeks, and the mold, the horror. So every single time I get rid of a sponge, I cut it in half. Like once I'm like ready to throw it away, I've never had that issue. Now, I'm not applying like heavy foundation every single day, but I also think like that's like the one in a million experience, in my opinion. I'm not saying that they're not like not harvesting bacteria, because I know, Audra, you're particular about that. That all goes into that. I'm not saying that's not an issue, but I think sometimes these viral things happen and people freak out. And I'm like, okay, I understand it. And I understand if it makes your brain and you can't imagine ever putting makeup on again in that way. That's fine. But also don't just throw away product or tools because some asshole on the internet.
Well, yeah. And here's the thing, like between every use of a sponge, I wash mine every time. That's the biggest mistake I think a lot of people make. You don't necessarily do that with your brushes because honestly, if you wash this between every single one, it's like it changes the use and it's going to end like, to me, it's going to lessen the life of your brush if you're just like always washing it every 5 seconds. But with sponges, because it is a sponge, I'm going to wash it between every use. And the second I get even one little pill in the sponge, one little, like anything, I throw it away. Because at that point I realize like, one, the application is going to be not as good. There's going to be a spot that's going to be streaky or a patch, something that's going to miss. So I just throw it away because it's not applicable. It's not usable anymore to make my face look like this. But, but yeah, I mean, I think that they get really sensationalized about showing that kind of stuff. And a lot of times they don't tell you that the person, like when they cut that sponge open, they haven't washed that sponge. That's what I'm going to tell you. They have not washed that sponge at all. They've probably just constantly been re-wetting it and applying. So there's a lot of bacteria that built up in there. By the time they cut that bad boy open, they've been using it for an eternity. So don't stress about that.
Also, what Stinky Egg said is that you depending on where you live and your humidity, it can be less of a problem of the product than the environment. It's like why I say, if you can do anything, don't store your makeup in the bathroom. Because it's naturally the most humid spot in your house because of the shower or the bathtub. So, I know that some people apply in the bathroom. I personally don't, but I remember when I lived in an apartment where I was doing that, I did notice a big difference in the life of my makeup and things when it was living in there. And it was like I moved out of that apartment and started storing it in a different space, and I could tell the difference. And I was like, okay, so I'm not going to be doing that again. And I
Oh,
don't store most of my, I try not to store most of my skincare in there, but that's my personal setup.
sorry, I think a bug just like flew right over my head. We're gonna like I was like, the fuck was that? Well, if you guys must know, I've had to open my patio door because I am currently trying to make sure that there is food for my new shower spider, and his name is Henry. He's a British fellow, spindly legs. He's very kind, but I wanted him to have something to eat because obviously there's nothing in the shower, so that's why there's little tiny bugs flying around my house.
It's life. I just feel like everyone has their own stuff, and it's I feel like once it gets even slightly warm outside, just like what's gonna show up today?
I know we have orange bugs out here in Texas. I don't know what they're actually called. We call them orange bugs, but they bite and they hurt, and they're just little tiny orange bugs. And as soon as they mow, they all like fly around and they land on your skin. You're like, ah.
Oh no, that's so unpleasant. I don't know if we had orange bugs, but I've had similar things when growing up in North Carolina, so I understand that. Okay, so actually, one of my products is a brush as well. So I'll go ahead and talk about that. I came back to this. This is a Real Techniques brush. It's they call it a crease setting brush. It's not that at all to me. It is my blend out for either eye primer or concealer. So I don't have them on right now, but I love fake nails, and I've been wearing them pretty regularly. So they're usually longer and pointy, and you can't like get in. My eyes are like, the way my eyes are shaped, it's already hard enough to get in that inner corner with a normal sausage finger.
Yeah.
So with this, like when if I've been using a white base, which I've been using lately with my pastel shadows, I'll like color it on like a crayon and then use the Real Techniques brush to blend everything out. I've been using this for my regular eye primer. Like I'll just pick a little up and you can just kind of like smear it all over. I'll use it sometimes for concealer. It's just like a nice little shape. I think in the long run, I would love to have like a couple of these because I am using them with a liquidy product. I need to wash them more often, and it takes time to dry and all of that. So I'd like to have a few just to be able to rotate through, but it's a really nice shape, and I forgot how nice this is even for concealer. Even if I'm doing the like Robert Welsh technique, which I know he normally does with his fingers, I can still do that with this brush. I can still get in there and like blend it up and out. So I'm actually on the hunt for like another one of these brushes that's either a nicer kind of bristles, because these are not bad. They're not scratchy, but they're also not super soft. But it's a good, like, I have to say, for like drugstore brushes, Real Techniques is not bad. They do make some weird shapes.
They do.
They have some okay like starter brushes, and I've gone back to this one and I've been like, okay, you're not bad. You're like a solid choice, and if you can find them on sale, I think it's a nice thing to have. They normally come in little sets or duos. This shape in particular.
Yeah, I think Ulta's having and I'm not positive, but the last time I looked, they were having a buy two get one free. Real Techniques, which I like their brushes, but I like Eco Tools a lot, to be honest. But you do have to be careful because some of their brushes are way too dense. And I don't know why, but some of their brushes are way too damn dense. And you're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to. Let me see if I can find one if I have one near me. If I don't, then forget it. But some of them I'll have, and I'm just like, this is a pretty intense brush. Even for powder, it's just too thick.
Yeah, sometimes this are almost too thick where you can't like get in there to wash them. But this, you can see, I can kind of separate the bristles and get in there, because that's a key with washing your brushes. If you can't get into that base, you're gonna have weird gunk up build up down there.
Yeah, that actually is a thing that I pay attention to because like even with this brush, like so when I'm looking at cleaning, I have another one here, but when I'm cleaning my brushes, I kind of pay attention to how far the color starts to go down. And as I start to see that it's getting too far down, I'm like, oop, it's time to clean it. But here's why, like, is because this does it too. The reason I do that is because if you catch it before it gets all the way down, you're not going to have a lot of issues with getting way in there to get all of the dirt. But if you don't catch it, like good luck.
And
May the force be with you.
And the problem is that the further down you have to like get that water and soap in to scrub, the closer you're getting to the ferrule part, which is where the glue is. And
Yes.
so the more time there's water like soaking or close to that ferrule, the more times you're going to have bristles start to shed out or completely come out. And Cherokee made a good point. I've seen these packs. So they, Real Techniques has this color correcting like set of 4 brushes in that shape. I used to see that pack like 6 months ago all the time, and I thought I like that brush, but I don't love it. That's a waste. And now I'm thinking, oh, that's the pack I want. The concept is totally a gimmick, but if I have 4 of those brushes, I'm not going to be mad about it.
Well, yeah, and I know a lot of people like get really shitty about brush sets. I prefer them. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the person who does. I prefer them because, first of all, I don't use most brushes as they're intended to be used. That's number one. I don't use them like that. So I like to have oodles and oodles of brushes shaped like this because of how I apply my makeup. Yeah. So the more of these, the more of these types of shapes that I get, like these kind of fluffy pointy, these are the ones I want. And I don't want to just keep and here's the thing, you want to just buy that one brush. That one brush is $8. You get the whole damn set. The set's $12. You're like, well, I'm going to get the set. Why would I spend $8 on one brush when I can spend 12 on the entire set? And it doesn't matter if it's high end or low end because they all do it to you. All of them fuck you on the one brush. And then if you want the whole set, they're like, oh, well, if you want the whole set, then and they're like, but like each individual brush costs more than the sets. I'm so confused.
Oh, that's too real. That's definitely happened where I'm like, but I just want, like, there's a couple of brushes that I have. I mean, this one isn't even a great example, but this is like the Dose of Colors, the 2-sided brush that comes in there. I like little quintet 5-pan palettes.
Oh yeah.
And the little pointed end is really nice, and the little small end for my small eyes is quite nice. And I'm like, could you just sell these in like a bulk pack, like a pack of 6, so I could buy them less than like the cost of a whole palette? Like I don't want that.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly the next evolution of brushes. Like I don't need another stupid poof. No offense, Tati. I don't need another stupid fucking poof. What I need is for one of these companies to be like, you know what? We're gonna sell you 6 of these in one pack. Like this is the brush that you love and you use it multiple different ways. We're gonna sell you 6 in one. That's what I would prefer. Like instead of selling me like all of these other brushes, because truth be told, I don't need an eyebrow brush, girl. I ain't doing that. But
I would love that because I use color. So my brushes after one use like this, and I'm like, there's only so much the color switch, which I have like a cheap Ulta knockoff. There's only so much that will do, and then I have to wash them, and I'm like, oh, but I don't want to wash you every day.
Yeah, when you get the blue on this bad boy, you can't. I don't trust the color switch because I'm even having it right now. I constantly get like a sty, and I don't want to be gross right out, but I'm constantly getting the sty in this eye. I don't know what's causing it, but it goes and it comes and it goes, and it's just like inside my eye, and it's like this ink. I think it's his slobber, if I'm gonna be honest. It's both slobber.
It's possible. Also, I'm with you, Feffy. Feffy's like, I'm a brush person, except you wouldn't catch me buying a Morphe one.
Girl, I've almost broken all my Morphe brushes, because I wasn't going to throw them away in protest. But here's what I'm going to tell you about why I despise them. And let me see if I can find one if I haven't thrown it away already. But it's because I'll just use this one as an example. Like this is an old BH one. I've had this for several years. But here's why. I don't know if you can even see the little crack. It's white, so you can't really see it. But there's a tiny crack here, and that's literally from me soaking it to wash it. And I hate that because I'm like, why wouldn't you have this connected here and then like have something different happening right here? Like, why would this all be one inside? Does that make sense to you? Because I just sit there and I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to soak this. I'm not just going to like set it down and be like, okay,
well,
that's good.
I want to ask you, how long, when you say soak, how long are you soaking your brushes?
It might be 15 minutes. It could be 2 hours. We're not going there.
Audra, you might be killing your own brushes. I'm just gonna
Listen, what happened was I had every intention of getting it immediately because so when I'm cleaning brushes, I don't know how many of you guys do it, but when I'm cleaning brushes, I tend to be doing several things at one time, and I'm usually cleaning my entire makeup space. So I'm like, okay, let me do this, let me do that, which speaking of that, I've been trying to move all of my makeup from in my bathroom in here so that I can get some order here because you've seen it, Emily. It's a nightmare. But I'm trying to get everything moved in here so it's easier. But the thing of it is, I will be doing all these things and I'll be like, oh, fuck, the brushes. I forgot. So I literally need them to, hi, Teresa. She said YouTube is blocking her comments from her other account.
I don't have the actual, I only have the StreamYard link opened up. Let me open up the other one and see if I can, what's going on? That makes no sense. No, sorry. Anyway, continue with your brush discussion.
But then what Bethany said, why don't you all start up a cosmetics company? You can call it shit you need, but no one will sell you.
Money.
Thank you. Because it's the same way I feel about like face palettes, which like I know we're off topic, but I fucking hate them. Okay, let me just explain why I hate face palettes to a nth degree. Highlighter palettes, I don't mind. Do the damn thing. We're gonna have a good time. And I'm talking about funky colors, like fun color highlighter palettes. The rest of it is just garbage money. And I mean that with the like nicest possible way. It's garbage money because half of the time there's like maybe 2 of the shades that you can use. They give it to you and you spend $40 and you're like, well, there's really 2. I got 6 in here. So there's like 4 that I'm not going to use. Can you use it for an inner eye highlight? Yes, but that's a fucking expensive ass inner corner highlight. Like, yeah, bitch.
Exactly. Well,
that is a cool lesson, Gagario. Continue.
The thing with like, actually I want to say with face palettes. So I get really, so once I discovered how like some brands have magnetic palettes and some brands don't, like meaning you can open up the, I mean, I have an example right here, but so like this is from Menagerie Cosmetics. The eyeshadows in here are magnetized, which is why I took out 2 colors that I didn't like and replaced them with 2 other single shadows. So you can see the gap, like you can get in there and take it out. Well, you could build the same concept really easily as a face palette and offer people, you know, do a 4-pan and say you can pick the 4 colors that you want. Like I think of somebody like Benefit. Benefit makes some for a paper white person like me, they make some okay colors. If I could build my own palette, they might get my money, but I don't want their stupid ass, here's 2 bronzers and 2 faint blushes and 1 highlighter that you want and a brush you don't want for $60. It's like, let me, for $60, let me pick 4 shades I want.
Thank you.
In your dumb, cute packaging, which I don't think is actually cute, but some people do.
I don't either. That's clunky.
And let me have the shit that I actually want. You can still release new colors, release new additions. It's not that much more expensive to make the palette itself magnetized, because most of these like Sephora brands, their pans are already magnetized. They're already made of a heavy enough metal that all you have to do is add a thin magnet at the base of the regular palette.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it because I keep seeing them and I don't know why people keep buying them. Like, I don't know what crack people are constantly smoking or inhaling that's got them like, oh, well, there's this new palette. I'm like, what the fuck for? Like, I don't need, like, I don't care if you make it in my shade, my tones. The point is, I don't want all that. Like, I literally didn't want you to do this thing for me. And if they did, like you said, where I could choose what I wanted, that'd be a game changer instead of me being forced to be like, All right, well, I'll just deal with this ugly ass dusty shade that's gonna make me look casket ready, and then I'll have the rest of the, because you wanted one and they didn't sell that one individually. And
Yeah,
then
that's the other thing is they'll release a palette, but they won't release the single product. So you're like, so like originally Benefits, speaking of that brand, their cookie highlighter was only in this big bulky palette, and everyone was freaking out about it. And I'm like, I'm not buying this huge ass palette for one highlighter. And then by the time it came out as a single, I was like, fuck you guys. I don't want you.
yeah.
Also, I wanted to welcome Legal and Lipstick. Wait, she just commented and I lost it. So glad to be catching this live. Hello, welcome.
Hi.
But yeah, I'm with you on the face palettes thing.
Beffy had a good one about Benefits packaging. That's why the fuck I hate that too. Because it's like, I mean, they're just like, when you get something from Benefit, they're literally like, here, do you want to put this shit?
That I'm here, that I have right here.
They're like, here, this is a bronzer. You're like, where the fuck am I gonna put this? Like, who am I? Do I need a bookshelf for my makeup? Like,
I could buy like 15 gorgeous, sparkly, beautiful, glowy highlighters for myself with the size of one of your 12 6-pan palettes where I'm only going to use 2 colors.
Yeah, I mean, if I completely move around the fact that Benefit don't give a fuck about dark skinned people, I still like the packaging is just hot garbage. I did say that out loud, but yeah, I mean,
it is.
The packaging, because I almost bought a Hoola bronzer one time, but I looked at that motherfucker and I was like, where, please explain why I need one bronzer that is this big. Please explain. I don't need all that in my life.
No, you don't. Jennifer, how did I know Emily would mention cookie highlighter? I mean, I don't own it, but I am friends with Teresa. Teresa is dead, and that's like her savior god. So, you know, it makes me think about that. But even I think about it with ABH. So their one of their glow kits that I got, it's either sugar or sweets. Mm-hmm. It has the color, like that packaging is magnetized. It has space for you to remove the pans. Why isn't ABH doing a build your own 4-pan glow palette?
I don't know. I don't know why nobody's doing it.
Like, why aren't they selling their highlighters as singles when they've
designed Jesus.
Singles? I don't.
Do you hear that?
I don't get it. What?
My beer exploded.
Oh no!
That's the second one that's done that. Oh my god! I let it sit too.
Oh no!
Jesus!
Take a moment to clean to.
Yes, because like the mouse. Yo, I will be right back. I just need to grab a towel and we'll continue talking. Jesus. I literally let this sit because the last one exploded. So I thought, let it sit. And now it blew up all over the planet. It's like chocolate. Oh gosh, I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Holy crap.
BYOP is a lot more expensive, but if you can afford it, I would agree. Yeah, I think there are ways brands can do BYOP that's not that expensive, like not as expensive as they're making it. Legal Lipstick. Learn the hard way that face palettes are not for me. Audra. I think I have one that works for me 100%. Only took me 20 palettes to figure that out. I mean, I agree. I think I can't even say the only highlighter palette that I loved completely, but it's a lie. I was going to say ABH Moonchild, but even that, I didn't love it completely.
Yeah, there's one thing I don't like.
I liked it, but there's colors in there I don't like. And Legal Lipstick. My Davina Exploders came today, and I'm in love. Oh, those are such... I just have to say, if you're in this pastel like moment and you like shimmery shadows, the Davina Candy Exploders are so pretty. You have to use a glitter glue, but they are my absolute fave. And colors do get reused between palettes, though, that's for sure. Thank you, Evangelia. Thank you. I have another newer one that I haven't worn on camera yet, but I was telling this to Audra off camera. I needed to trim to actually like do the lace front part of it, and I saw it at like an hour before we were going live today, and I was like, no, my brain can't do that right now. Oh, Adept. Linda, I saw Adept restocked today, and I'm thinking about making a purchase. I got a little overwhelmed. I looked at their site a couple days ago and I got a little overwhelmed and I decided to just like wait. Let's see, Feffy. I don't understand why they can't do slim packaging. It's not because the thing is that with Benefit, it doesn't make any sense. It's not like their products are domed. They're not. If you depot them, which like Beauty News has done, they're the same height as a regular ass powder. Stop it with that dumbass box packaging. Well, and then let's see. Oh my god, so many comments. Linda, it only took a week. I ordered from Ulta, a very big brand, last Friday, and I haven't gotten any shipping. So it's not just the smaller brands. It's everyone's backed up, everyone's messed up right now.
FYI, don't tell Jen loves reviews. I have a supernatural fucking Stein, y'all, because she will come for me. She will come. Because this has Crowley on it and everything. She'll come for me. I'm not trying to deal with that.
I think you're right, Visions of You. I think what happened was the pro style makeup became trendy. So you're getting large and multi-complexion shade products. But I also think that they're still doing not just Benefit, but a lot of these brands are still doing stupid, cutesy, consumerist packaging with pro oversized products. And so in the end, you're getting these like coffee table face palettes. And I'm like, no, give me a quad that I'm happy with.
I remove some of the exploding beer off of this. Sorry. This palette is a gorgeous palette, but it's huge and it doesn't have a shit ton of shades. That's what's weird. Like, look how big this is for all of this. Like, they use the space well, but it's very large. And I'm like,
no,
it's big.
Even I look at it and I'm like, the space between the rows, they could have cut that in half to a quarter of how wide it is.
Yeah, that's true. I don't need a huge ass.
Oh wait, Jennifer, is it icy? What is that question pertaining to? Because I'd love to answer.
Maybe it's the Davina.
And then it's like these brands don't want to make money. Why not target different audiences? Here's the thing: brands still are. They're still judgmental about the kind of money they want. They want everyone's money, but they don't want to admit they want everyone's money. They want to sit there and think that they are prestige and special, and they want rich white money. But the reality is that that's not all they want. They want everyone's money, but they feel like they're special, and they only want certain money.
Yeah, they want to appeal to rich white money. You're exactly right. They don't want us brown bitches up in there.
And I say this in a different, and it's not a similar thing, but it's something I've experienced. Obviously, racism is different from like, what is it, weightism. As a fat person, a lot of people are not, a lot of higher end brands are not making clothes for our bodies because they don't want us wearing their clothes, because they don't want fat people in their high-end brand name. So it's totally, it's different. But I've had that thing where like, I've had a friend be like, I love this dress from this place. And I'm like, yeah, they don't make my size. And they're like, I don't understand why you would look so good in it. And I'm like, they don't want my money. That's why.
No, you're right. You're completely right. Because I mean, even like when I did a lot of beauty, like fashion subscription box unboxings, and even for me, I'm an unusually tiny woman. I get that. But even I noticed that I still couldn't get jeans to fit. I get it that I don't have an ass. It's rude. You know what? Just don't come for me and my no ass and my no hips. But and I just sat there feeling upset because you've heard me like whine and bitch and moan and be like, nobody wants to hear skinny people's problems. But it was upsetting because I'd sit there and be like, well, what is smaller than fucking zero? Like I just need pants to fit. And it just starts.
What's smaller than zero?
Yeah. And it like, just as it breaks you down. And that's why it bothers me when people just go, well, of course this person's going to, I'm like, no, both of us, we all actually need to be friends because they're fucking with both sides of us that, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that a lot of the boxes that I got didn't have good options for plus size people because I was friends with plus size people in the community and they had difficulties finding a cute shirt that was similar to the shirt that I had in their size. And even when they said they offered plus size, it wasn't that plus.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's so many good comments happening right now. Thank you.
I know. I wasn't expecting it. Oh, y'all.
Gosh. Okay. Let me see.
Hi, Satines. We're glad you made it.
Yes, welcome. And oh my gosh, there's just so many comments.
Hi, Hannah.
Well, Hannah. Wait, Linda, what is everything? Everything is sold out? Is everything sold out? That's fine. I can wait. I'm trying to like chill out about like, oh my god, I have to get this thing. So
yeah.
Wow, that's something. I have a friend who has to shop in the children's section. It's just too challenging to be small. You just don't want to dress like a child.
Correct.
I'll be that person that's like, I have a hard time feeling like it's just as challenging, but I'm sure it is challenging. But also I can shut up in my like body positivity, fat liberation, mindset over here.
No, here's the thing. They do the same thing to larger women. I don't know what we want to call it. Like, I like saying fat women because I like my women fat.
I'm fine with fat women. Yeah. You can call me fat. I call me fat. I use that word. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't date skinny women. I know that's like whatever, but I don't date skinny women. But what? I don't date skinny men either. So apparently I have problems. We can't make fires rubbing against each other. Yeah. But they do the same thing to both sides. Like, if you're super skinny, they're putting boats and trains and bullshit on your stuff. And if you're fat, they do the same damn thing. You're like, I am not 3. I need you to act like I have style and grace.
Yeah. That is for damn sure. Okay. What is I clicked some I clicked a different section of StreamYard and I lost the comments and I was like, what happened? I freaked out for a minute. Okay. Shall we move on to another product? I think it's your turn.
It is. So this I'm actually wearing tonight. And would it be a reviews if I did not have a Colored Rain product, y'all? No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. So today I have the Beauty Rust palette. I'm wearing it on my eyes. What I absolutely love about this is not just the saturation, but it's 6. It's a 6-pan palette, okay? You can go as smoky and bold and pow as you want to with this, because like I'm wearing this dream shade, but you wouldn't know because like it also packs a huge punch. If I want to make it thicker, if I want to layer it, if I want to wet my brush, I can make it be like, bam, bitch. But I can also go in with the dusk, which I used a very minimal amount this time, right there. But I really just used the natural and the recharge. The natural's all over, and then the recharge is in my crease and on the edge. Then I threw in a little bit of the dusk, like right in here in the crease and right on the edge. And then I threw the dream on top. Now this dream though, I'm gonna kind of show you because you can do that. That's like a little bit.
Oh yeah.
You can go in like that. So you can really, I'll swatch them. Yes, ma'am. You can really go in with this dream. It's absolutely stunning. I can never decide.
Make you full size so you can show off.
Oh shit. I didn't know you were going to get fancy. But this is that dream color. So it's absolutely gorgeous. And you can go in as heavy or as light as you want. I've literally used every single color in here. Dusk, which is this one right here. So beautiful. It just does. Look at that. Do you see how like pretty it's like? And here's the thing, on my eye, it can also skew a little red, which is perfectly fine because Recharge has a little bit more of that reddish tone. So they go together like peas in a pod. So like if you look at them next to each other, I'm the worst at swatching, by the way, guys. But
you're doing great. Don't worry about it.
So I'm the worst at this. So I love that I'm kind of coming back in with them because my swatching skills, aren't the best. But I just wanted to just at least see these 3 colors and how they just, you can go heavy, you can go light, you can really just decide that you're gonna be insane. And what I loved about this Nighty Night color here is it's not your average basic bitch brown. It's got a richness to it, a nice chocolatey undertone that's just giving it life. It's not just basic ass, oh, I've got brown on. It really, you can smoke this the fuck out and just be like, yo, I've got brown on. What? So that's why I kind of want to wear it, because I just, to wear it lightly, it's quite pretty. Yeah. So like this is awesome.
I wanted to highlight Legal Lipstick. I love that palette, Depotted Mine. Those are my favorite browns from Colored Rain. I think gorgeous, like neutral palette that's not boring. Oh, and Christine, I hope you love the Power palette. If you've never tried Colored Rain,
yo, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I don't know.
Also, I just wanted to go back to hello to Alex. Happy belated birthday. I know you were streaming last night. I missed it. Birthday.
And the writers had all this like, what was it? Blizzy McGuire.
Oh my God, that's great. And I agree with Keisha. They all, to go back to the clothing conversation, they all want us lost in leggings. That's exactly what it is.
Man, you know how stupid I look in leggings? I just want y'all to know, like, I'm wearing them and I wear them all the time. But let me just explain to you, I don't have a torso. All right. I am short-waisted. My leggings go up to underneath my titots. My titots are just right underneath my leggings. It's a very sad affair. I'm pretty sure there's a photo floating around somewhere of me wearing leggings as a whole outfit. Okay. The leggings were the outfit.
Also, yes, everyone should buy from Colored Rain. Keisha's like, you're killing me with Colored Rain. I keep saying I'm not buying from them again until the next shade book release. I have to say, I'm a single eyeshadow like whore over here, but the shade book didn't really draw me in. If that's what I think it is, if it's the book that has all the slots for the single eyeshadows, but that's also because I have slightly different size single eyeshadows. So like, it's like an actual, I don't know, Audra, if you've seen it on their site, it's like an actual book with different layers that's to put it single eyeshadows in. But
no, I've seen it. Not my thing.
Being an empty palette, like a little one that I have here where you can fit any size in, it has specific spots, which is great if you have like a bunch of Colored Rain singles, but I have an assortment.
I don't like it because it's layered. I'm weird about shit like that because like what I'll do is just be like, I've got it, and then I'll never use it again.
Yeah, no,
like, I'll put everything in there and it'll all disappear.
It's not for me, but I get why some people love it. But I just think that their shadows are fantastic. So are their satin lipsticks and all of their stuff.
Oh my God, their satin lipsticks, like I'm having to restrain myself from buying like even more of them because I know she's got a bomb ass red in there and I'm about to lose my damn mind. And I'm like, girl, you're unemployed. You can't be buying more shit.
Oh my God, that temptation is too real.
I know.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about something I'm also wearing today. And I know I mentioned this brand and this collection last week, but I just wanted to go back to the Midas and Smoky Glow collection. So the reason why I wanted to mention this tonight is because I did like a first impression review of this because I got the whole collection. I bought it. Oh, Danica, hi, and thank you for the super chat. Actually,
hi, Danica.
That reminds me because Audra has been like in my camp of saying these things, so I'm gonna say it. So anybody that wants to give a super chat, I totally appreciate it. Nobody should feel any kind of pressure to do it. If you do want to donate, though, I wanted to let everybody know that YouTube takes 30% of everything, including a super chat. So we also have I have Venmo and PayPal and CashApp, and I also have Audra's CashApp in the description box because if you want to tip her, you can tip her too. So I'm just letting everybody know if you want to donate, that can be a way to get the full amount of the money to me or to Audra and not, have it go to YouTube because YouTube is a little bit greedy for what they're offering. And that's all I'll say about that. But thank you, Danica. Wait, did another one come through? I'm confused. But
yes.
Thank you.
There's one ice cream and one a dog. Look at that. So bear.
Also, this color is like a purple that's like brown. It's in the picture when I was shopping for the wig was more of like a pinky purple, but it's like a purple brown. So
isn't that Christmas wigs?
I don't know if this one is. The other two that I have are Christmas, but this one was just something I found on Amazon, but it's not bad. So to go back to my product, so the reason I wanted to make this is when I first did the review, I was like, this is way too pigmented and too much of a pain in the ass as a gloss. It is very, very pigmented. Like it's extremely so. Here's what I've been doing though, and it's what I did today, is I just layered these two. So I put this one down first and then I put this one on, or you can just put the more pigmented one on lighter. My cat is trying to invade the space and I'm about to. But I have a spray bottle handy. I don't even need to spray. He just sees it and he's like, oh shit, I got it.
I know, like while you're going, I'm like cleaning the entire top of this because like I put towels down and stuff, but I'm like cleaning the entire top. So I'm sorry if I'm trying not to distract from anything.
It's okay. But yeah, so I've just been putting down, you could do this with a clear gloss. You could do this with any other gloss. I've basically just been layering them so that I get like a cute like, lip by putting the two together.
Is that your lipstick department?
That's what's on them.
I've noticed that every time you've been putting on makeup, I'm like, what is she doing with her lips? Because it's so cute. Continue.
No, you're good. So I guess I also wanted to mention it because like I know I specifically in my video was like, it's fine, it's kind of annoying, and it still can be. I'm not gonna like be like, oh, it's just perfection. But it's one of those products that like I've gotten to know better. And so I wanted to just update and be like, I like it. I still think like if you don't want to like mess with something, which Audra and I talk about that all the time with eyeshadow, if you don't want to mess with it, don't be tempted. But if you're drawn to this color, there are ways to work with it.
Thank you, Angel, for the super chat.
Oh my gosh, Angel, thank you. So generous.
Made of magic and rainbows over here.
And I just want to say, Linda, I haven't tried anything from Monique Boole.
I have not either.
Huh.
I'm hardly ever on Etsy though, y'all. Like I'm frightened of because I've seen too many of these like crooks on there, so I get nervous.
And then Angel asked, "Is there an international option for tips?" It just came through, but I think is PayPal international. I
think so.
Check, but PayPal.
I have no idea. I don't know how most of this shit works. I just know that like I get them and I'm like, hope it works. That is literally my thought process is like, hope it fucking works.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, whatever y'all can do, I appreciate it. And if you try to do it and it's annoying and super chat's just easier for you, no worries. I get it. I appreciate every bit completely.
I'm really glad that you did that because like that's one of the things that I like about doing these lives is we can update on products that maybe you had in a box and flops or a review that you did solo, and you can come back and be like, I like it and this is why.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to go ahead and do this, because we wanted to make sure that not only do you hear about the product the first time, but you can hear about it again at a later date. And if you've missed reviews on it before, like it's not like you're never going to see this stuff again. Because I guarantee you some of my foundations that I love, they're going to come back and I may have a different view on it. I'm still waiting for all my foundation to show up. Anyways.
I also did some shopping just to let everybody know. I did do some shopping and none of my orders have shipped. So I'm just saying, like from big brands to indie brands, I think they're all like struggling, and even though I didn't quite show that in my most recent when I reviewed the Menagerie Pastel palette. If anybody watched that, you saw my perspective on that. But in terms of other brands, I've been pretty like I'm like okay, brands are being more vocal about we have delayed processing times, so that's what's happening.
Yeah, Ulta is really good about, they've been putting it on there. Sephora's been putting it on there. Yeah. So guys, I'm going to tell you just real quick on buying anything. Let me just tell you, if they do not have information about the ship times, I would just not buy anything right now, or I would send a message to customer service to find out, because you do not want to buy something and then not know that it's gonna take them because some of them it's gonna be an entire month before the shit comes. And I'm not bitching about the month because obviously stay in your fucking house, let's not get sick. But yeah, I would like to know that it's gonna be a while. And Amazon's doing a really I know nobody likes Amazon. Fuck all. Here's the thing. at least when the one thing Amazon is doing is they're giving you dates that are pretty far out, but you're actually getting the products earlier. Like the wig I got today, I wasn't supposed to get until like May 17th. So
Thanks.
just keep in mind that they're doing that kind of stuff.
Also, hey, Kara.
Oh my God, are you feeling better?
Oh.
She was not doing good. Are you feeling better at all? Oh, and you know what? Keisha said something about my vibe, and I was like, girl, thank you. I've been struggling so much because I don't normally fuck with my hair, and other people do it for me. I have a fabulous hairstylist, and she does my hair every 2 weeks. And since this happened, I haven't been able to have that going, and I don't relax my hair anymore ever since college because I bought a relaxer. And fun thing, you don't know that they go bad until you're using it. So I used it. And as I was rinsing it out, I was like, that's a fuck ton of hair coming out of my head. I lost like chunks, like especially in the front, just chunks of hair came out, like just burned the fuck off because the relaxer was old. So I had to go natural at that point. So I'm so glad Kara's here.
Oh, that's so painful. Also, I just wanted to quickly say, I'm noticing that like maybe it's my phone. Like every once in a while, my screen flashes black. I apologize if that's messing with anybody. I don't know what's happening. Everything is normal setup. So
no, that's every live. Just
okay.
FYI, that is every single live. I've watched, it doesn't matter whose channel. I've watched it on Kate the Great. I've watched it on Nappy Headed Hoba. I've watched it on Kiki Sweat. Okay. I will have it literally blink 3 times black, and then it's fine on every single one of their lives. Okay. So don't stress.
Also, Kara said, I do feel better. Just had some eggs and baking cookies. You've been like cooking.
She's a baking fucking monster.
It's amazing.
So about your lip gloss, so you're doing the layering.
Yeah. I actually do the lighter color first. So that's different. First, and then usually what I'm doing is I'll put a little bit more on now. I will put it on like on the center. And then just kind of press it out and kind of just tap.
Oh.
And so it's still pretty pigmented, but it's not as bright as it is straight from the tube. And it spreads the pigment around a little bit more. That's the issue, is that this gloss tends to have so much like color to it that sometimes you can get like kind of a line of gloss and pigment buildup if you just throw it on straight from the tube. But it's such a pretty color. It's that like fresh, beachy, spring color that I've been wanting to try to give it a try. And because it's pretty vibrant, even when it like fades away, it's still a lot of color.
Well, see, you have nice lips. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, but you actually do have very nice lips. So I've been noticing, and I didn't know that was your secret. So. All right, queen.
I've been layering even with the Milani lip glosses. I'll put something brighter underneath, like one, and then I'll put the Milani gloss on top. The thing I've noticed with Milani gloss, I love the Ludicrous glosses, but sometimes, so I have if it's a thinner formula lip product, and then you have that Milani gloss, you really need to put the thinner formula down because that Milani gloss is so thick that nothing really wants to sit on top of it. So. Yeah. I've been playing around with that a lot. It's like if it's an easy product to apply, I'll mix them up.
Well, and that's how I always do gloss on top. I'm because I'm wearing this Context in Sweet Emotion. Mm-hmm. And then I've been putting this on. I'm like, hello, bitches. Okay. And I actually just dab this on when I do when I reapply, I just dab it and then kind of do this. And then I take my Milani. This one's Teen Spirit. And
that's a great color.
And then I go in like this. This is why I like this applicator so much, because you don't actually have to pull it all the way around your lip. You can literally pat and be like, okay, this is where I want it. And then you just kind of purse your lips together. And I'm like, perfect natural nude lip. What? I know. Surprise, guys. No.
Also, I just wanted to say, I don't know what this is. You give whatever compliments you want to give. I don't mind it at all.
She didn't say Yolanda.
The Korean lip, like a popsicle lip. It's kind of that effect. It doesn't quite stay as concentrated as some of the Korean lip products do, but I don't mind it. And I almost mentioned my cheek product today in my lineup, but I thought I would save it. It's the Cover FX Warm Honey Blush Duo. So that and another product I'm going to talk about later is like the only glow I have on today on like the cheek area, the cheek and middle of the face. So I'll tell you more about the rest of the glow a little later.
I am like going. Okay, sorry. We got to get back on track. We're like an hour in. We have what, 2 more products? 3? So
wait, Bethany, yes, Ludicrous, but it's by Milani. So when you move, I move, but Milani.
not like stand up.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
okay,
that.
What's next on your end?
So the next thing I want to talk about is, this is the longest name for like a really good product, but it is the Dr. Jart Cicapair Tiger Ass Color Correcting Treatment with SPF motherfucking 30. It's long. Like if it goes long, I'm always gonna have an MFer in there. So sorry if I offend. But first of all, the big one is $52. Don't buy that. Don't buy it. Here's why. First of all, like I don't have it on today because I didn't need a lot of color correcting today, but this goes a long ass way. That is me barely dipping my fucking finger in this shit. And I just kind of want to show you like on my arm, like where, like this is a lot of product. Do not, if you get this shit, do not buy the $52 one. Buy the small one that's $18. You will be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. What's amazing about this is it doubles as a moisturizer, but it does really, really great color correction without you having to do 75 different colors. It looks gray, and then it like as you move it in, it starts to just turn like just kind of to your skin tone, and then you put your makeup on it. It's bomb. I love that for the times where I don't want to fuck with concealer. I'm not in the mood, especially because I've said all the time, like when I wear full coverage foundations, I don't want to wear concealer because that's too heavy. This is what avoids that situation. This makes it so that like that little area, and I'm so bad at always showing this, but this makes it so that that little area, like my under eyes, that are normally kind of dark anyway, it's hereditary, but it makes it so that it's not so dark, and it like kind of lifts that area a little bit. Also, I need to drink more water. But the point is, this actually is a very good product, but I'm going to tell you right now, don't buy the $52 one. I've had this for almost a year. And its shelf life is 12 months. So if you buy the $52 one, you're going to be sad as fuck. You're going to be really sad because you're going to have too much of this. You're just going to have so much of it. You spent $52 and you can't even use it. And you don't need it all the time. And I like it because I got annoyed by all of that color correcting because I just felt like it was really intense. It's like, use this color here and this color. I needed something simple. I got that in a beauty box. And I was like, this is really simple. I don't want to use all of this shit. I don't like a lot of layering because I feel like that makes you look very heavy. Anytime I've done a lot of layering, I look heavy. And it doesn't, and the thing is, on camera, I don't look heavy, but real life, I do. Real life, it's like, so I don't want to look like that in real life. And that's why I try to make a distinction, even when I'm doing a video. When I have a shit ton of concealer, y'all, that's for camera, because it's going to look good on camera. But in my real life, I do not put my concealer on like that at all, because I'm going to look like a monster, a full-on hardcore monster, and nobody's going to want to deal with that. But yeah, that's a really good product. I wanted to talk about it because I don't know that a lot of people know that this exists, and it's the perfect color corrector. I'm brown. I mean, now I'm yellow, but still.
I was gonna tell Audra this off camera, and then I was like, I'll save it for the video. So I bought a Dr. Jart gift set in like holidays of 2018, and it was like a bunch of things, and I had the full size one of those. Yeah, and it was probably for the same cost as like the full size. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was way too like thick on my skin to wear during the daytime, which made it kind of useless because it's a color corrector. Yeah. I literally had it for like a year, barely used any of it. And I was trying to use it. In the last year, I have finally used it up as a $52 body moisturizer.
Well, see, that's the thing is I figured out because initially when I started, I put too much on. And I finally had to figure out that like you couldn't, you barely had to, if I put it on my face, it's like dot, 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 dot. Anything past that, like it's going to be monstrous because that's where I get like weird spots here. So I would just get that kind of massage around my face and be like, I'm color corrected, hoes. I'm going about my business. Kitty on the stove.
There's literally no food over there. He's just like, I wanted your attention. Luckily, everything's off over there. There's nothing he can do damage to. And I say it before I cook. So, you know.
Yeah, Lizette, nobody likes to look cakey. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then I'm going to talk about another little brush, and this will lead into my other product, but I'll talk about it after yours. So I wanted to say, if you're ever on the hunt for a brush and you feel like you can't find it in like from a makeup brand, look at art brushes. Look at because I have this brush. This is from this is like a little tiny liner brush. It's like the smallest little pointed, and it's pretty thin. So this is from Royal and Langnickel, who also makes makeup brushes.
Oh God, those are my favorite brushes.
But I got this from Michael's because I was looking for something I could use to try to improve my attempt at wing liner and all of that, because I would like to get better at that. And I also want to get better at I like doing want to play with line work, and I did a little bit on my eyes, but so I'm looking for more brushes like this. But this little brush is just such a nice, it has a nice angle to it. It's not too thick, so I can get a pretty thin line, but it's not so tiny that I'm drawing a teeny tiny little bit every and I'm just fuck this. Brush. And this one is this was $4 or $5 from what I remember. I looked it up earlier and it was $4. So I think it's worth it to pick it up. If you're really looking for certain shapes or certain things you need to do when we can go shopping ever again, you could always go into a art supply store and actually look at the shapes, feel the bristles, because some art brushes are much firmer and they're not going to be really comfortable on the face, but these are pretty flexible without being too flexible. And yes, Teresa, that's another option. If you have an art supply bin, rate it for your makeup. So yeah, this is a good little brush to have, and I'm enjoying having it in my collection.
And see, I like that you found that. It's the reason I am extremely partial to one liquid eyeliner, which is the Hankin Henry Blicky Black Pen.
Okay.
Because this is how I drew that with the pen. Now
that's really nice.
And I'm inspired right now because I've been watching burlesque every other night. We're not going to talk about it. I just can't. Christina Aguilera was made for that role. She looked glorious. Moving on. But being able to make this kind of kitten wing, having the brush is really the most important thing. Yeah. And I like that you found that at Michael's, because a lot of people don't realize that a large amount of people drawing these wings, they're using all kinds of different tools and I don't know, some of them stencils, whatever the fuck they're doing with those. But it's nice to be able to figure out how to draw it yourself. And Lizette said she has hooded eyes. I can give very weird advice about hooded eyes to a degree. It's not super fantastic because I have.
Danica. Thank you for the super chat, for hanging out with us.
Night, Danica. Thank you. Because I talked to Emily about it, telling her kind of how to pull it, because I have a different issue. I have slightly hooded, but mostly I have a shit ton of weird little lines and rolls basically in my right here. So I had to figure out all kinds of weird things to do that most artists would not tell you to do it that way. They would be they just wouldn't say that. I'm not saying that they wouldn't ever do it. They just wouldn't say it. So for me, I literally have to draw from inside the corner of my eye and pull up if I want it to be like this. Because if I don't do that, the rolls are going to take over. That's my life. Those rolls are going to just destroy everything.
And I would say for me, one, I saw Legal Lipstick said, wait, was R&L originally a paintbrush company? If so, I had no idea. What a logical pivot. I'm pretty sure they were originally in art supplies or brushes. And yeah, in terms of hooded eyes, like I have hooded eyes, and my biggest challenge with like liner and anything that's graphic is like I have astigmatism, so everything is blurry without my glasses on, and even the most magnified mirror, getting it close enough and then having the brush, like you can't do it. And for me, I'm also more like, I'm not comfortable. I'm right-handed. I'm not comfortable like with this kind of motion, like crossing my arm and doing that. So a lot of times I'm doing my left wing with my left hand, but I'm not really fully like left-handed. So I'm just like, I can do a decent wing over here sometimes, but they're never gonna match. Not for me.
They're not supposed to. Just here, fun fact. No one is, unless one is significantly doing some other shit, no one notices. I've had many a wing where like one is just like cha, and the other one's kind of like hey. Nobody's ever noticed that they're different because again, your brain is going to put shit together. The only time the brain is going to notice is if I have one up and like one going like way the fuck down, and then everyone's like, "What's happening there? Is that fashion? Are you being avant-garde?" No, I was just drunk. You know, like.
And yes, I do think Royal and Langnickel is still a very renowned art brush company. You're right, Cherokee.
And they also make Moda brushes, which y'all.
Modas are great. Moda brushes.
Yes, and they sell that at Walmart. Like I'm telling you,
yeah,
Moda is a really, really good brush, and it's made by Royal and like I'm just gonna say R&L because I can never say Langnickel. So like they make the Moda brushes, y'all. Yes.
Okay. Oh, Alex, that's funny. My dad has ambidextrous. Every time I think how it would be easier to do make eyeliner. I'm glad I've gotten a little ambidextrous, but I'm by no means talented. I'm just like, I can do it.
Yeah. Let me see if I have another, like I have a lot of dirty Royal Langnickel, but no clean. So this is the Moda brush. This is one of the ones that's made by Royal R&L.
I like the Moda ones that have a black textured handle. They're one I got in like a BoxyCharm set. It's like an all black handle, and they're just like so nice. I have like a fluffy brush and a powder brush. They're really nice.
Yes, I love this one for highlighter. Just be like,
that's a great highlighter.
Well, like I don't put highlighter on my eye like that, but like.
You're not me. You don't just put it everywhere and call it a day.
I put blush everywhere. Like yesterday for like a super duper spring look, I will take blush all the way here and then I'll pull it from here and be like, bam.
Yeah.
Spring.
Okay. Do you want to go on to your next thingy?
I will. Okay. So this is a skincare item. This is Minimo Glow. It is an exfoliant. I'm going to explain some very important things about why I like this. So first of all, it's just an exfoliant. I hate and abhor exfoliants that are washes. And there's a specific reason why I don't like them. You are doing two different things. When you are exfoliating, you're doing one thing. When you're washing your face, you're doing another, which means your pressure is different. The reason I hate when they try to like push, because I think there's one by Murad that they're always trying to push, is it's an exfoliant wash. I didn't like it and I don't fuck with it. And that's not the first exfoliant / wash I've hated. I hate them because you're trying to do one thing. You want to exfoliate. If you want to exfoliate, you want to be able to use the correct pressure. This I really like because let me just get a little bit out. One, it smells really good and it's naturally smelly good. It has turmeric in it. But it's a brightening. Oh, thank you, Kara.
Hi, Karen Harris. Well,
hi, Karen. But the thing about this is, here's just a little tiny dot of it. And then what I tend to use, I get it on my hand and then I spread it out. And then from there, I will then pull it up and put it onto my face so that I'm not just grabbing like a chunk like that's too thick. That'll make my face irritated. But the cool thing about it is I'm using this, it's exfoliating my skin, it's very light. And what I love about it is it's not a wash. So I'm not getting right here. All right. This is the delicate skin of your eyes. This is why the fuck I hate when they try to mix an exfoliant with a wash, because you can't do both. They're two different things. One is exfoliating, one is washing your face. When you're exfoliating, you know you're using an exfoliant, so you use a different pressure and you try not to rip all the skin off of your face and let's go. But I love this because it really does make my skin brighter. They have a website. I love this shit. I love this. Like, it smells so good. It feels really nice. My skin actually does glow. I used it today. So like, bitch. But I did use it today. It gives you just this very nice glow, and you don't have to use a shit ton of it. And again, I just kind of spread it around a little bit. Like, I grab a chunk, spread it around my hand, and then gently pick it up and start spreading it around my face. And if you get a little too much, you just use a little water. I use it before I wash my face, and it's not a makeup thing. It's more of a like Sunday, Saturday afternoon, like type of, what am I trying to say? Treatment. Saturday or Sunday afternoon type of treatment, because I don't already have makeup on my face. I exfoliate. And then the good thing is, when I'm rinsing and I'm ready to wash, I then use my face wash. It gets emulsified and I get the rest of it off, but I'm not pulling these areas. So that's why I love it. It makes my face bright. It's beautiful. It's light on my face. It's not pulling all my skin off. That's important. I like my face skin. I don't want to look like a door. So
I just want to say to Cherokee, yes, it is linked in the description box. And I do agree with, I do prefer chemical exfoliants, and I think my skin likes them more. But I think you just gave so many good tips on how to work with physical exfoliants. In case you have them, it's great to just like know, okay, this is how I can use it.
Yes.
And I also agree with Feffy. Yeah, the thing with exfoliating wash is you're washing your face every day. That's too much.
Thank you. And that's a big thing. I don't exfoliate with this all the time. I do it maybe every other week because I have a lot of different products I'm using that are exfoliants in different ways. So I'm not trying to use this all the time. I don't like exfoliant face washes because, one, like you said, they're promoting you exfoliate your skin every day. That's too harsh on most of our skin. There's probably like 0.00001% of people who that's perfectly fine for. I am not an esthetician. I am a skin enthusiast. So don't like come for me on that. But the other thing, like I said, is pressure. When I'm washing my face, think about how you wash your face. Think about you'll be going in and then you're just like, you know how sometimes you're tired, and we shouldn't be doing this, but we rub our eyes a little bit. We're like, oh, fuck yeah, this warm water feels amazing. Imagine doing that with the exfoliant face wash. You're just like, this skin right here is so damn delicate, and you're tired, and it's nighttime, and you're using an exfoliant face wash on your face. The pressure is different. When you know you're using this, the pressure, the texture that I have when I'm rubbing it on my face is like, oh, like a gentle little lamb, gentle little baby. But if I'm washing my face, I'm going in. I'm like,
a smart human being is using it. But I know plenty of people that, because it's an exfoliant, they go in and like ham because they think that's what you're supposed to do.
And that's what I like about this too, is because it's a little thicker. Yeah. It is gonna stop you from being a like an insane person. I'm trying not to say a freak, but because it's gonna stop you from being like super insane with it. Because I used to have issues sometimes where I'd just go a little too hard because I'd be like, my skin looks like shit. I gotta rub it all off, and I'd think that. But then I'd use this, and it really taught me of how to, like, one, thin it out, because that's another issue that people don't do with a lot of these kinds of physical exfoliants. You don't thin it out. So you need to thin it out a little bit and get it to where you can work it around on your face. Don't just take a glop off and slap it on your face and be like, party. But the other is it starts teaching you about how to properly apply pressure to your face. That is what a really good thing about physical exfoliants is. It really starts to teach you about the pressure that you're putting on your face. And once you start playing with this kind of stuff, you start realizing, like, if you're putting on concealer, that you need to dab a lot lighter than you thought you were dabbing. Like, all of a sudden, just from using a physical exfoliant, it changes the way you touch your face.
Sorry. I want to say hi to a few people. Hey to Olivia, who's scientist on Instagram. She's fab. Barry stopped in to say hi. Enjoy your video games. And also, I wanted to say, thank you, Barry, for the compliment. I also wanted to say, so I got actually a an exfoliator that's like a combo, and it was like a gift, or it was I remember like I got it and I didn't pay for it. That's all I remember. It was probably
it was free.
charm. But I have realized if my face is wet, because it has a thicker texture, it might even be a little thicker than that one.
Mm-hmm.
If I get my face wet and then go in with it, the water helps thin it out without even having to do it on the back of my hand. So I've started doing that. Like the first time I used it, I went in thick and did, because it's one of those like you leave it on for a couple minutes and then you wash it off so that the chemical exfoliator can have time to, I guess, activate. But I realized after doing it the first time, if my face is wet, it thins it out and then I can really spread it easier. And then when I'm washing it off, that's when I can do the kind of rotations to get the exfoliation, that motion going. So
I use this. I wet my face and then I still thin it out on my hand and then I put it onto my face, because this one it's a pot. That's the biggest reason why. It's because you're getting like a chunk out of it. So I thin it out on my hand. And then then I just start gently massaging it on my face. And then it starts to dry out. You know, as it starts to dry, that kind of lets you know, like, okay, I'm finished. You rinse. And then you're like, look at my glorious face.
Yeah.
And then use a face oil after, you know?
Exactly. And
bye, Cherokee.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah, I think like once or twice a month, like what Olivia said, like doing like an actual like physical exfoliant, if you have one that you like, can be a nice way to do that treatment. But you know, if your skin is really sensitive, like what Feffy was saying, or you just haven't found one that you like and you don't want to risk it, if chemical exfoliating is working for you, go for it. I just think that for almost everybody, some level of exfoliation is kind of key.
Yeah, because I mean, Olivia even said here, she said, I used to use exfoliant face wash, but it would do more damage. So now I do exfoliation maybe twice a month. My skin is too delicate for more. And yeah, I really hate that they've tried to put the two things together. It just bothers me because I sit there, like, again, I'm a skincare enthusiast. I look at that kind of shit and I'm like, you're literally asking people to rub the fuck out of their faces. Like, because Feffy had brought it that she massages her face when she washes it. So do I. And that's a different pressure. You're like, oh yes, bitch, I deserve this. I've been doing all this shit all day. This is my relaxation time. You're massaging and like, when you try to put the two things that do different shit together, like that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you try to get somebody to peel off all of their, I don't want to peel off on my skin. Like I'm uninterested in looking like Leatherface. So it just really bothers me that they don't, I'm sorry, horror movie references galore, but it really bothered me that they keep trying to push that as like, do this. And you're like, no, as an enthusiast, I would not recommend it to anyone to do it that way. I really wouldn't. I don't know what Hiram would say. I don't know what Robert Welsh or James Welsh would say. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I personally would be like, just use a face wash or use an exfoliant. And when you've rinsed off most of your exfoliant, then you can go in with an emulsifying face wash and get rid of the remnants and go on about your business with like still skin attached to your face.
I think there's a difference between like combining certain things, like certain ingredients that make sense combined or maybe help activate one another, versus combining steps that don't need to be combined. Like just let your cleanser be your cleanser and your exfoliant be your exfoliant. Like you don't need to put them together.
It's like toning face wash. What the fuck is that?
That coffee mask looks kind of dangerous, but maybe it's because I have listened so much to, I think it's Hiram who mentions how like when you're exfoliating with something that never breaks down, you can just keep pushing it into the skin and there's no stop. Whereas if it's a sugar or a salt, that's going to start to dissolve and break down. And so you can't physically shove it as deep into the skin and possibly cause damage. I'm sure for somebody like Alex, she knows like, you know, not to do that, but for people that are less familiar with exfoliants, that can be dangerous too.
Yeah, this is a cane sugar based.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into, I'm just seeing if there's anything. Oh, mandelic acid is nice. That's the thing, is there's so many other, there's also so many physical exfoliants you have to explore, and like, I don't know, it can be overwhelming. So gotta kind of take your time and like baby steps into it. That's always my recommendation. Like little bit by bit, try new things.
Yeah, and for reference, I have combination skin that is currently trending more towards oily. So I still like that's why I still like this because it's taking care of all of the glory. I'm looking young.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go into the next product, which I did not buy this brush for this product, but I'm glad I have it. And these are the Glam Vice water activated pastel liners. So they come in this really cute like ice cream bar packaging, and I bought, so it was a set. There was originally 7 colors, and sincerely Alex, who was in the chat earlier, actually bought 2 of the colors off from me, which was perfect because I don't need 7 of these. But they are brightly colored water activated liners, and what water activated means is that it's like a cake liner. They're completely dry, so I put my finger in, no colors coming off. But if I will use this up because I'm using it, or I'm going to put water in there when I'm done. If I spray it, then you basically can use a brush or a tool and mix it up. And then this is going to be really like quick and fast, just demo. So it's not going to be like the perfect consistency or whatever. But then you can have purple.
Oh, I was wondering because you talked about those. It's awesome.
So, they take some learning curve. I have, let's see, on my eyes tonight, I have peaches and cream, and I have it like as a detail kind of on the, I don't know what, actually see that. Maybe that side a little better. I'll probably take some pictures but so you can do like wing liner, you can just do like, I've been doing pastel freckles with them, or other like kind of line work, dot work. And so I'm really actually in the hunt for more brushes that are even finer than this, but I've been really enjoying them because they're I don't know, I think they killed the packaging. The little like ice cube kind of effect is just so lovely to me. I would say if you're not into pastels, I wouldn't pick up these colors in particular, but they make other colors. They make like neons and really bright colors. And I think, if you're looking to play around with this idea, getting like one of them and trying it out can be a really fun way to just add some silly, pastel to your look. And it is actually UV activated. So in like black light, they glow. Yeah.
Oh my God. 2000 me would have been like lit.
Actually, can I show you that?
Because I totally did ring in the new year like doing that shit. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can't.
There you go.
Wait, let me do something.
That was pretty bomb. 2000 me. And
I guess
Storm. That is so cool.
Yeah, there you go.
That looks amazing. You're gonna have to replay this and watch it back because I don't know if you've seen it with the UV light, but it's fucking bomb. You look amazing.
And I will totally say that I was influenced by TikTok to buy this because I kept seeing TikTok makeup people do like videos with this. And there's one person I follow in particular who's like not even a professional makeup artist, but she does the most ridiculous like lip syncs, and she'll do these looks where I'm trying to plug in my light and I can't do that again. Do that in a minute. She'll do like her full face of makeup, and then she'll do certain details in the UV activated stuff. So when the lights are off, like she'll have a certain expression based on the UV makeup, and then she'll turn the light on and it's a different thing. It's the coolest shit. And I was just like, I don't make makeup TikToks, but I want these. So when this brand in particular launched their pastels, that's when I decided to buy some.
And see, meanwhile, when I'm on TikTok, I'm just watching a bunch of people with tattoos and red heads and people doing bad dances, and you're over here learning shit, and I'm just over because here's the thing, I do watch a lot of makeup people, but they're not makeup artists, if that makes sense. It's more like Infernum Asylum, like cosplay type makeup, which I fucking love that because there's a bunch of people who do like really good Ursula ones. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So they're kind of tricky to work with, I will say. I'm just looking through to see if there's any things I missed.
Yeah, we have. Somebody said that all the best YouTubers are here, and I agree. I think it was Yolanda, actually.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, yeah, and I think the other reason why I picked up water activated liners is because they last forever, because they don't dry out. And so that was my thing. There's been some brands that have released like liquid colorful liners, but I decided to specifically go for something that's maybe a little bit more difficult to work with, because in the long run it would be something that would actually last. And I felt like over time I'll get better with it. It's a little practice makes perfect kind of thing.
Yeah, because I now that because Olivia said that she got them from Suva, and I actually have the black from Suva, and I have the brush that she's talking about. That is how I really started to perfect my wing. Was like I already had a fairly good handle on it with just a liquid pen, but once I started using their brush, it gave me like a different way of like holding everything and flicking.
Yeah,
I would always recommend that everybody, if you can ever try to do, like, I know we have liquid pens and they're awesome and they're to a fine point, but try it sometimes with a brush and water activation, not gel, like really water activation, because how much water you put in, it really helps you to determine how much water you need and like what density and how much saturation you want. Because you can make a black not be black. Like if you don't want black and you want kind of a gray, you cannot put enough water so it's just slightly gray, and you're like,
that's
and it helps you with your flick.
I would say with these is that there is also the learning curve of how much liquid you put like in the jar to how thin or thick it is. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm putting a little bit more water in than I was, because before I was like, well, I want them really saturated, but I realized when they're that thicker texture, they're harder to get that like movement and that flow on the brush. So now I've been a little bit more generous with the water and just realizing that they might be slightly more sheer than they were before, but especially with these kinds of colors, I'm less concerned about that. And I more want to play with my hand, with the motion and the movement, and see if I can practice that. And then once I'm better at doing it, I can go back in with like a thicker consistency and see.
We're over here like making art. We're like, and then you do this. And then so background dancing to Sandstorm by Darude, like seriously. Because she was like glow sticks ordered, and I'm like,
I also want to say, so Linda mentioned Beauty Bar Baby has those too. So I'll give you a little bit of a scoop. So Glam Vice originally, from what I know, they originally had this pastel formula developed by their private label, by the people they buy from. And it was supposed to be only for their brand. But they made, from what I know, they made the mistake of not getting it as a contract. And so right after Glam Vice got theirs, basically any other small indie brand that wanted them also has them.
That sucks.
So you're probably going to see them from other brands for cheaper. Beauty Bar Baby, I know, has them. I don't know what their prices are like. A lot of other brands have gotten them, and they are cheaper. I bought these right when Glam Vice did the full bundle like a month and a half ago. I'm not mad that I paid what I paid. I do think as an indie brand, they made a mistake to take someone's word. But so like, I don't think anybody that's buying from other brands is like being shitty. You do what you want to do, but that's like the story that I know of about those liners.
Oof. That hurts though. That sucks because they like had a cool thing and then they.
Yeah. Oh, and the other note about anything water activated, just, it might seem like common sense, but in case you don't know, they're not going to stick in your water line. They're not going to show up there. So they're going to work as a wing. They're going to work as like line work, or I've seen people use them as a base, although these are they've been a little too sticky for me to use that way. But just don't think that you're going to be able to shove them in your water line and get like bright color.
Like if you want to hit that Cleopatra, it's good for that too. That's what I call. That's what I call it right there. The Cleopatra. If you're trying to hit that.
And yes, agreed, Stinky Eggs. It's easy to mix. You can mix the colors with these as well. But yeah, so that's been my fun little playtime with makeup. That's what I consider these, is little like makeup playtime.
I love those though, because you've been wearing the fuck out of them and they've been so cute. Like your freckles, I love. Because it took me a second. I was like, oh my God, I wish y'all could see this because he knocked the fuck out. Like his little teeth are out. Like he's so cute. I'm sorry. Off, like it's off. So I looked over and he just like, anyways. But I've been watching you like do all these cool things with it. And I'm amazed because I don't have a lot of creativity in that way. I can only make creepy clowns. That's what I do. That is my makeup. Creativity is creepy fucking clown. Like, do you need a creepy clown? I'm your girl. But otherwise, no. I've been a creepy clown like every other year for Halloween. We're not going to talk about it, except for the time where I was a nun. We're going to move on. We're just going to. Anybody have any questions for the lovely Emily regarding the water activated pastels?
Yes. And yes, the beauty bar does have pastels. I saw it show up in my mailbox. But yeah, a bunch of them are gonna have them or are going to have them in the next couple months. And like if pastel is not your thing, also there's been other colors out there for years. Suva, Glisten makes them. A bunch of Glam Vice has other colors, so you can. I am still
looking for a perfect red eyeshadow. So up until that happens.
How is Sauce from Colored Rain for you? Is it not red enough? The Vivid Pigments red.
I don't know if I played with it yet. Okay. We'll find out.
I don't have it anymore because it was one of the ones that like broke on me, so I haven't played with it in like probably a year. But I remember it being very like high impact.
Ooh, I gotta remember that.
Yeah,
fudge with it later because I think I may have fudged it a little bit, but we'll see.
Oh my God, Kara! I asked to go as a pregnant nun when I was 13. My mother was horrified.
You know what, Kara? Not everybody appreciates taste.
Or a great sense of humor.
So right quick, y'all, for my last product so that we can like just talk about whatever. This is, and I'm wearing it, the Clarins Wonder Perfect Mascara 4D. I did get this in a sample. Real life, it's like $30 mascara. Do I give a shit? No, I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. I don't care. Because it's glorious. And like, when I turn to the side, I don't wear false lashes. And this is why I'm sitting here turned to the side so that hopefully you can see it. But this is why I'm big on a very good mascara, because a lot of people who wear a lot of false lashes, no shade to them, but will say like a mascara is just a mascara, but they're wearing false lashes. So they don't hardly ever actually wear this mascara by its fucking self. Yeah. They're just judging it by how it looks with their lashes. And like, it's okay, it's all right. I'm like, but you're wearing lashes. I don't wear them, and I need a mascara to do exactly what this is doing, which is like in photos and stuff like that. It gives like nice shadow. When I close my eyes, it's like, oh look, cat butt. And it's like, if you close your eyes and you're like, and people can kind of see the swoosh, like that's the kind of stuff you want from a mascara. And so I really, really like this mascara. Yes, I would spend $30 on it. Like, that's why it cracks me up when people will say like expensive mascara is stupid or whatever. I'm like, well, you wear lashes, so obviously it's not a thing for you. But for me, I like to have a bomb ass mascara. And sometimes with drugstore mascara, while it's awesome when I put 3 layers on to get the same effect, I don't necessarily always want to do 3 layers. So this is 2 layers, and I love that. There's a bug on me. Okay, it's gone now.
And this was the Clarins that you said 4D mascara?
Yes.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Wonder Perfect 4D mascara. Keisha, it's a mascara. This was the sample, but I fucking love it. It's one of my favorites. This one's waterproof, I think, so that's the only thing I don't like about it. But oh my God, look at the face!
And this is I really like that. That's new here. Oh, she's a mess. Also, somebody in chat was asking about Bitter Lace Beauty. I personally have not tried them. I know that Amy Loves Makeup just had a video up about one of their new releases. If you're asking about that in particular.
Okay.
Oh, Feffy has a spicy opinion about non-spicy makeup. Clarins has good shit.
They do. They have a really good, they actually have good skincare. They have all kinds of good shit. And people don't know. Clarins is slept on.
I feel like the lip oils are what are always on my like wish list, but I never buy them because they just look like they're really good, and they're not oily oils. They're like, because I've like put them on the back of my hand back when Sephora felt kind of safe, um, back in the day.
Back in the day before we knew about the
like thicker. They're like a thicker consistency. Um, Wait, but Clarins though, that is definitely okay. Karen brand. You're not wrong. You're not.
You were not wrong, because it's like, I get it, but I mean, I cannot deny this mascara, because I think who had said that? Let's see, Feffy had also said, I love a look with fake lashes on other people. I love them on a visual sense, but I don't take mascara wrecks from constant lash wears. And again, it's no shade to somebody who wears lashes, okay? It isn't. But I don't wear them. I'm not going to wear them. I cannot wear them. My eyelids do not like it. I have tried the thinnest of bands. My eyelids just get very irritated, and not like, oh, irritated, like puffy or anything. I can't see. And I always thought I was going to get used to it, but I can feel the weight of them, and I just spend my time like this. These lashes are so pretty though, right? I look so pretty in the picture. You guys see my lashes? Can somebody put my beard in my hand, guys? Like, that's where I feel like I am when I wear lashes, like every single fucking time. So it's just, I don't mess with it. And that's why I have to try out a bunch of mascaras, because I'm the same way. I can't listen to somebody who wears lashes all the time tell me whether or not a mascara is good or bad, because I'm like, I never see you without lashes. So like, no.
And yours right now, when you were to the side, like they have like a really perfect curl, and it's like a very bold shape, which makes me think that they're like nice and thick in not a clumpy way.
And I didn't use a lash curler because I don't use them because they're hideous. Anyway,
I don't like lash curlers either, but I also have naturally pretty curly lashes, so it's kind of like it's like people that say that this mascara is fine when they're wearing fake lashes. It's like, I don't like lash curlers, and I don't want them, but I also don't feel a need for them.
My real life lashes stick straight out. This is how they look after using that mascara.
Okay,
they're like good.
Okay, so I'm gonna get through this product before I get more cat attacks. So
correct,
because it's a skin product, or it's a liquid product. So what I have on my face. So I felt this isn't really a product recommendation, but it's a very Emily thing to recommend, and that is to play with your makeup and make something out of something you don't like. So a little shout out to Kara C. She was wearing Flexitarian. She was wearing Flexitarian by ColourPop recently, and it reminded me, oh, I have a little hangy thing on my phone that I should take off at some point because she keeps biting at it. She reminded me that I like how Flexitarian gives me this like sweaty, glowy look, but I don't reach for it because it's a potted like Super Shock highlighter. It's just not my favorite. And I also had a NYX like Bear With Me tinted moisturizer that was so sheer that I was like, why am I even wasting my time putting it on? So I mixed the two together.
Oh.
And I basically, in my opinion, made my cheap version of a Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter Glowy Primer.
Bitch.
Which was on my damn wish list forever. And that is what's on my cheek. It's all over my face. I did put a little bit of highlighter like up here, but it's a green highlighter. The blush does have some glow in it, but it's really glowy, and like all of this area, all of the center of the face, all of that glow, like especially this part of my cheeks, that's like really more this than the blush.
Damn, girl, you're over here like you need like a makeup line, because you're like, I mix this shit together and voila, bitches. Like,
and I just had to keep mixing it. I ended up using the entire jar of Flexitarian that I had left over. I had used it some, but I just kept mixing it in. I did a test first. Like I did a test on the back of my hand and kind of mixed the two together because I was afraid the Super Shock texture wouldn't actually dissolve because it's cream. But it did come together pretty well. And I feel like this is something that I can, and because like I wasn't reaching for that NYX CC cream anyway. So I was like, even if I go through this slowly, I'm going to use it faster than I would have used that other one up.
See, and everybody's talking about your sorcery down there and your witchcraft.
But I used to do that. Like, I mean, I've done that some with powder shadows. And that's a little easier because they're powders and they tend to mix together well. And then I've done that. I've also done that with concealer. If I have a concealer that I don't like underneath the eyes, sometimes you can mix it with moisturizer and make like a tinted base. Like and not like I would say more of a tinted moisturizer than a foundation. And it's a way again for me to use up the product when I'm not really loving it and like a concentrated space on my face.
Oh, now we're back. Sorry. I know we froze for a second as far as I could tell on my.
I thought you froze. I thought you were just staring at me like, what's going on? If somebody missed what I was saying, I was basically just saying, if I have a concealer that I don't love, sometimes I'll test out mixing it with a moisturizer or a really lightweight face product and try to make a slightly more higher coverage product. Doesn't always work. That's why I say, like, if you want to play around with makeup, try it with products you're not in love with anyway, so that if you were going to get rid of them anyway, you don't feel so bad if it doesn't turn out well. Oh, and Teresa, thank you. I did like super heavy blush and very, yeah, hell, it's so glowy. Wow. Oh, and thank you, Feffy. That's called having the skill, the talent, and the range. Oh, thank you.
That's what I used to do with lip colors.
Yeah, that too. I've definitely done that with lip colors. I just have to ask because I see a little like gap. Are we still here? Are we still good? Can somebody leave a comment in the chat just so I know?
We are. I can see it.
Oh yeah, we're right here. I have the window open. I don't know why I didn't just check. Okay, cool.
No, I'm like, I set it up on my phone so I can actually see it because I was like, the fuck? But we are getting a little scraggly.
Okay.
Well, I'm getting scraggly. But that's because I got up.
Okay. But yeah, so that's my fifth product. If anyone has questions on like how to mix things up or whatever, feel free to ask. What is going on back there?
I think I'm coming back in. So yeah, if you'll have any questions, concerns, anything that you wanted to talk about, we will definitely talk about it because I mean, I like doing this with you guys. Like this is so fun. I really wasn't expecting just kind of an off the cuff idea to turn into this. So I love that you guys participate.
Oh, and I'm seeing comments in YouTube that I'm not seeing in StreamYard. Alex said, Case walked by and said, you're both very pretty. Oh, thank you, Case. And Teresa said, rock that damn heavy blush. I can't resist. Every time I try to put on a little bit, it turns into this. So, you know.
I tried to be very light on the blush today and it got a little out of hand, but like I was gentle today. I just did like a soft summer spring.
Well, and the thing I've noticed is because I've stopped setting my face and I'm just going in on maybe not damp skin, but not on like powdered skin. Is it still funky? What you
I'm seeing if mine.
Audra, try to leave the stream and come back in.
Okay.
See if that helps, and I'll add you back to the stream.
Yeah, because mine starts getting angry at me from time to time. Just see my whole life. Okay, hold on.
Oh my gosh, Bethany. Okay, so I'm glad that you're embracing blush, Beffy. That's amazing. And I was gonna say I tend to end up going into heavier blush because I'm not setting my skin anymore with powder. Really, I'm just letting the blush kind of set it. But that means it sticks and it's pigmented, but I'm not mad at it at all.
But normal. Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
You look bad.
there we go.
You look.
I'm gonna look blue.
Uh,
Hella blue.
And Bethany, you're asking about glitter glue. I use NYX, and it's almost always on sale, like at Ulta or at a drugstore. I'm trying to find mine. It's just my go-to. I've heard the e.l.f. one that's like $2 is also pretty good, but I love the NYX one.
I have not used glitter glue yet. Sorry, I'm blue, guys. It's a webcam. So you're like, RBK is always orange and I'm always blue.
And I'm always yellow. You're blue, I'm yellow.
Am I blue? Blue.
So this is
Oh, I need to get some glitter glue, like for the 2 times I wear glitter.
Well, I don't use it for glitter. I use it for everything. Do you have something on, Audra? Feedback, sound.
Do I?
Like, do you have?
No, there's nothing.
Okay, I thought I was hearing feedback.
I'm like, I've paused and turned everything off. But again, like that's why, like last night, it was like, I tell people, I'm like, hey, it starts getting shasty. So
yeah. So this I use for everything. I use for all my shimmers, and I just put a really thin layer down, and then I put my shimmer on top, and it's ridiculous. It looks so good compared to, and for me, because my eyes are so hooded, I kind of have to, otherwise it's gonna go away in like an instant. I'm trying to see if I can show you a comparison.
I'm ready.
It's interesting because you can kind of see, so I feel like it gets more mirror-like on the glitter glue versus this is without, and this is with. This is also like not even my favorite. This is that palette I was telling you about, Audra. That I'm like, I mostly on the chopping block for me. But the thing is that I feel like when it sticks down to the glitter glue, it gets like a certain level of reflection that I don't always get like long term on my eyes. So
yeah,
like the all the shadows that you talk about that are in that BoxyCharm palette that you use, I would always use those over a glitter glue myself.
Well, yeah, because like people don't necessarily get to see this all the time, and it's hard to talk about because everybody's always talking about hooded eyes, but people don't necessarily always talk about people who have a fucking fuck ton of lines. Like you can kind of start seeing them right here. I have all these little lines, and so it changes my whole application process. So it's weird. It took me a long time to be like, are they hooded eyes or what the fuck? Because I'm like, slightly hooded, but also it's just like a lot of lines.
Well, the thing is that hooded is just like one of multiple features. Like just because your eyes are hooded doesn't mean they can't also be deep set or close set or, you know, whatever. Like it's just one of multiple descriptions. So your eyes can be hooded and have a lot of fine lines, or can be hooded and, you know, almond shaped, or like it's just a descriptor. It's just
because I have like almond shaped eyes with a slight hood and I've always had these lines. Like I don't know where they came from. It was actually one of the things that made me kind of give up for a long time on trying to make an intricate eye look, or like intricate for me. But because I couldn't figure out, now I'm a normal color, because I couldn't figure out this area here because I couldn't get anything to work there. And that was before, you know, I was old, and I'm old now. So I was having difficulty then. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with the side of my eye. So I just wouldn't mess with it. Now you talk about glitter glue. I tend to use like to amplify. I do the weirdest things to amplify colors. Like I will take, you know, those eyeshadow pencils that they have, like because I got all those beauty boxes and they would send me some ugly ass creamy color. And I'm like, fuck this color. But I would use that and put like shimmers on top of that. That's actually how I did like a lot of cheek cut creases.
Audrey, that's not weird. That's not weird. You're using your products. It's just like using, I have that white base that I showed. This is a big chubby pencil. That's all it is. It's a big chubby pencil, and you put it down.
Yeah.
I the reason why I say this to you is because I'm like because sometimes you like downplay what you do and you're like almost insulting what you do, and I'm like, no, you're doing good shit. And it's a good reminder for people to know, like, hey, just because you don't have glitter glue, but you do have an eye pencil that's maybe a little too creamy to really line your waterline or line your eyes, but not creamy enough that you like wearing it, it might be worth trying
Yeah.
it like on your lid to help kind of grab that product.
Yeah. Well, because I think it's my internet connection here where I am.
We should probably wrap up because I hear you like breaking out. But I would say you do have kind of deep set eyes, Audra, and that's probably
I do. They're because I have hyperthyroidism, so they're deep and they're bulgy, and that's part of hyperthyroidism, that you have bulgy eyes. It's so annoying though, because like other Black people come up to you and they're like, "Do you have a thyroid problem?" You're like, "Yeah." They're like, "I noticed because your eyes are bulgy." You're like, "You could have not." You could have not. But it's like Teresa was saying, the info. But yeah, she was just saying, yes, I find that the eye shape info out there is pretty limited to about 2 or 3 different eye shapes, and they can't. And here's the thing, like, so even when they talk about, like, I noticed that they were talking about, and this will be the last thing that I really go on about, is that there's 2 types of aging issues that happen, and one of them is that your face sinks. And so, like, I'm one of the people, essentially, if you don't have a lot of body fat and you don't have a lot of fat on your face, it doesn't even matter if it's body fat. You could just not have a fatty face. Mm-hmm. You're more likely to sink, and it's just going to be like, ugh. So that's one of the reasons why my dark circles as I've gotten older are more pronounced. Water only slightly helps the situation. Yes, honey, if I had money for Botox, I would squirt some in there. That's truth. But but the thing about it is they don't really teach us, like, for instance, concealer is not going to do a lot for your eye dips. Don't let anybody tell you it's going to. It's fucking not. When you get older, virtually every concealer is going to crease because you have fucking fine lines. Stop letting them talk to you about creasing because it's just a buzzword. They're saying this shit to fuck with you. I have used a lot of concealers. They're all gonna crease because as soon as my fine line, like, unless I sit there like this, like a maniac, trying not to do anything while I let it set and not fold in my eye. Do you see how crazy I look? That's insane. They're all gonna crease. They really are all gonna crease because you have fine lines. The only way to avoid it is to not actually get the concealer up in there and just to conceal this area and then use more shadow down here. Like that's what you're gonna want to do to avoid that. But don't let them fuck with you on that. Like, eye shape is a lot of different things, and that's why it was so hard for me, because I was like, I mean, I guess they're kind of hooded, but then I have this other problem because they don't even talk about lined eyes as much. They don't talk about people who just have a shit ton of lines. And that's what makes it hard, is because you're like, well, I can see where I'm sort of hooded, but it's not hooded enough to be a problem. But what the fuck is up with these lines? Like it took me forever to figure out how to properly do a wing to avoid making those lines piss. Because then if it slides across the line, you're always going to have an uneven line until you figure out where your lines are and where to just kind of trick them.
Yeah.
They're like, ha, I got
you. Even with some hooded wing liner, like sometimes you make the V and you don't even connect it with the line on the lid because there's no way to connect it. And when your eyes are open, which is most of the time, you're not even going to notice that. So you just like make a wing and then you just have this like gap. But for me, speaking of like faces sinking and changing, like I've noticed, I mean, I have fat in my face, but I still have gravity. So like this part of my eye has just like gotten lower, I've noticed. So it's like sometimes I'll get weird blend out there or weird whatever, or I struggle with like exactly the shape to do or where to end my eye because it's like that little kind of like baggy part that's starting. And so I'm like, if I had the money, honestly, to do just like a little lift, which doesn't look like a lot right now, but like
I would do like this.
I would do that if I had that money.
Surprise, bitches. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm like, if I had a little bit more eye space and I could afford to pay for that, I would pay for it. Also,
thank you,
but yeah, it's just like, I think that's the other things you have to realize. Your face changes as you get older, and So sometimes you just have to like figure out the new way you're going to approach doing something that you used to always do.
It does, because I mean, they don't talk about all these different issues with eyes. They only talk about if your eye is hooded, do this, and if your eye is not hooded. They don't really, and like I said, I had to figure this out on my own because nobody was talking about all the lines. Because I literally, if you look at it, if you look at this eye, this line comes all the way from inside my eye all the way through.
Yeah.
So, and I've had that line my entire life. So you can't tell me that nobody knows that these fucking things exist. And like now you can see two of them.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me nobody knows that these things exist. Why isn't there shit being done? Like if I close it like that, obviously it looks like I'm winking like a fucking weirdo. But if you close it like that, you can start seeing them.
Yeah.
So I have to do makeup stuff around these lines. So I'm fully aware that virtually every look I have is going to crease. It's actually one of the reasons that stopped me from ever even trying to do like super duper intricate crazy shit. Cause I was like, these lines aren't going to play. They're not. And I'm not going to keep trying to figure out ways around them. However, if anybody they keep fucking with this lay thing, I'm going to kill them. You can fuck with me on Instagram. I can't see it. Y'all love you so much.
Oh, good night, Jennifer.
It's because of last night. Y'all, I love y'all so much. Y'all have no idea. Y'all just made my whole night. I kept looking over and seeing lay this and lay that all night. I'm
and once you mentioned
Chris
last
doing
night,
it.
like, oh yeah, that's what that's from.
Yes, they've been doing it. Like, we're gonna have to have Emily Audra merch. That's just like
yes.
There's a lay something on.
Oh, good night, Alex. And
night,
yes,
Alex.
that's the thing is that, but they're not talking at all about any of it, or they're not aging because they are so rich. They have all the fillers, so they're not experiencing the lines that you've experienced or sagging that I've experienced because they're fighting against it. So it's like no longer helpful. But I also think your whole discussion about the eyes goes back to like why the proper tutorial is dead, because everyone is finally realizing that they're not just, or I hope people are realizing that they're not just you have hooded eyes or you don't, you have this or you don't. Correct. It's like, no, you might have 10 different things and they all affect how your makeup is applied. And so to watch somebody tell you this is how you do makeup for hooded eyes, okay, that's helpful, but not really. And then you're just more frustrated because you don't fit into their mold. So
this kitten wing that I make, like I said, it comes directly from this spot here. It flicks up, and then to avoid the wrinkles, I just kind of slide it and they make this area thicker. Yeah. So even when I make a regular wing, my wing is longer than I think a lot of people's wings, but it's longer because that if I flick it out and then I don't actually do this and then flick it back in. I flick it out and then I kind of start in here and pull, and then I kind of pull a little bit and then come back out and pull it back together. But the whole reason, a lot of balls, pubic mouth. We're never gonna fucking. This is. Oh no! And that's the thing. I've talked about this before. I'm like, it's easy for a young 24, 25-year-old to be sitting there being like, this looks really good for my wrinkles. I'm like, but you don't have any. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Then when they're sitting there talking about a lip plumper, I'm like, you have fillers. Get the fuck out of here. Like, there's just stuff where I look at them and I'm like, I'm not saying you're not valid. What I am going to say though, don't talk to me about a lip filler. If you like a lip plumper, if you have a lip filler, do not talk to me about like this being so good on your cheeks or on your skin. If most of your skin is plastic, I ain't mad at you for it. Do you, boo? But do not come to me being like, this is my bare face. I'm like, your face is made of plastic. I ain't mad at you. I'm happy for you and your plastic face. Go you because you have the money. Because bitch, if I had the money, I'd have a plastic ass face too. But I don't. And I don't want you telling me how I should be using skincare when your face is plastic. This is my real skin. Yeah. You know, this is what I'm dealing with every day. So I don't want people to have to like fight back and forth and be like, oh, well, this like 26-year-old bitch says that. I'm like, she's 26. She has fillers and all kinds of Botox going on. Of course, they look immaculate in the makeup. This is how I'm going to look in the makeup.
Yeah. It's
This is
all
how I'm gonna look.
it's all tone. It's all like how you say it. If you just tell me that you love this thing because if you love this lip gloss because it's a little plumping, but it also has a great shine or something, then I'm probably not going to be like, stop talking about your filled lips, because I'm going to be like, okay, you just like that lip gloss because you like it. Or
Yeah.
you like this concealer because it covers up what you need to cover up, or because it has a nice texture or consistency to you, on your skin. That's different than, oh my God, it never creases, when you don't have a fine line to be creased in at all. Like,
Thank you.
it's all the approach. It's all the
It doesn't crease. I'm like, bitch, of course you don't have a line. There's nothing to crease. Girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
It doesn't crease. I'm like, and then looking all close, like, I don't see a fucking line on your face. I have lines galore, and you're trying to tell me it doesn't. I'm like, no, it doesn't crease if it's down the fuck here. Like, I can do that, but do not tell me that when you put it up, because mine's gonna crease because I have all these lines. And again, like I said, unless I sit there like an insane person waiting for it to dry, that's not gonna work out for me.
The reality is that so many
I have people spitting water out and falling out of chairs. I'm sorry.
From like carrot like taco like pubic mound. Is that what happened?
I literally don't know what.
Love you, Bethany. Love you so much.
I love all you guys. Like, seriously,
Yes.
You guys make this amazing. We've been here for 2 hours and 4 minutes. Jesus.
Feffy is right on the money. A lot of people have been asking for my skincare routine. 21-year-old with a facialist and plastic surgeon on speed dial.
Girl. Yeah, if you want to know you want to talk to me about my skincare routine? One, it's 5 steps for the most part every single day. And there's one ingredient that changes day to day. I had asked on my Instagram if people wanted to see like my daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
I really was just going to get all the products together and be like, this is what I do. But because I have combination skin, Lord knows, you know what? Help those of us with combination skin, please. Because we don't know what the fuck it's doing all the time. And so what I'm doing often is treating all the fucking things that my combination skin does 7 days a week. And I just do a different little thing. I just move one thing each time to just keep it from being like too crazy. And that is how I handle the combination skin.
I think that's a great video. I do, because even for me, thinking about incorporating different products or being like, well, if I'm going to pick up a second serum or a second this or that, like I have more than one serum, but like I'm trying to like use up a product for me, because my current skincare is like kind of pared down, but I'm like, okay, I would like to add some things to it. But then I'm like, okay, how do I handle that? So I think showing an approach of like, this is my 5-day a week or my 7-day a week, whatever, rotating skincare routine. This is how I tackle it, could be helpful because people are, confused. Also, good night. Good night, Chris.
Until next time. I don't know. Like if somebody is French or speaks French, I'm not trying to be offensive. Please don't get mad at me.
No.
Please.
Oh my gosh.
Diana fucking A. Oh my God. Who asked that?
I love Angelica on here, Angelica Nyquist. She always says, who asked for that? Like with the most attitude when you're like revealing yet another rainbow palette or yet another palette with a pop of blue.
Mine are always like this. I'm like, absolutely nobody asked for me to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. So here we go. Like nobody asked me this. Nobody was like, what do you do for your skincare? Nobody asked. I'm just like, I'm doing it any damn way.
You're like,
so
it's my channel. I do what I want. If you watch, that's great. If you don't, I'm not offended. Or maybe I am offended. I get over it.
Feffy, you have to fluff it. So, okay. I'm going to do a small demonstration for Fluffy before, for Feffy before I, and I'm actually going to use the brush I talked about. So this isn't a full coverage foundation, but I'm going to kind of show you how I do this. So when I get foundation on my hand, I don't just do that. I actually do this to it. And then when I apply it in feather-like strokes around my face.
No, I want to.
So
never mind.
Like feather-like strokes. So if you were, and there's a lot of people who think that a full coverage foundation is hot garbage. It isn't. You just have to you don't one pump. 2, you thin it out on your hand so you don't have a bunch of it. And then the third is you feather it out on your face. Do not allow it to be crazy. If you need a moisturizing primer, then use that. If you have oily skin, I do not use a moisturizer and the moisturizing primer. I just use the moisturizing primer because I have oily skin. So if I use a moisturizer and the primer, it's just going to be like a hamburger helper mess. So I don't want that to happen. So that's kind of what I do is I really move it around my hand. And then that way, when I need a little bit more, I still have more on my hand, but it's not excessive. And I can just kind of keep doing that. And then like the strokes that I use on my face are the same that I use here. And I just kind of gently like kind of tug it. Like, so I'm not pulling at my face. You see what I'm saying? Like these like really light strokes. So I'm not pulling at my face. I'm gently getting the foundation on. It's getting the coverage. And nothing is getting like all fucked up. Like that's always my end of day. It's not getting all fucked up. I really do an application that is as light as possible because I think a lot of us are very heavy-handed. I was as well. And I started to learn, especially using a lot more of these newer full coverage foundations, not to get crazy with how much I'm using. Oh, he's dreaming. Shh, do you hear him?
Also good.
Could you hear him?
Yes, I could hear him.
Oh my God, that's the cutest thing ever. Good night. But yeah, I mean, my application of foundation is extremely light. It's extremely light.
I know you're a Taurus as well.
Steffi, this is all facts. This is all facts. I'm a Taurus. I am hot. I am always right. Praise me.
I like Alex at 15.
But yeah, I mean, I think because I did too, Olivia. I was running. Oh my God, he's still doing it. So fucking cute. I can't live. But I'm so sorry. It's literally the cutest thing in the world. Okay, I'll get back. We'll leave because I'm gonna have to snuggle him in a second. But I did the same thing where I was like, because this is the reason I don't like the sponge application so much. I don't have a sponge, but what was happening is like, I'm gonna use this one because this is not my shade, definitely not anymore. But what was happening is people were taking it and they're like, just pumping it out like this, like so. And then they're grabbing a sponge and then trying to like put this shit on their face. Of course it's too much. Like, look at that shit. That's a lot of fucking foundation for one application. Like, let's get real. Like, let's be honest about how much shit that is. April 30th, Alex, in what, 7 days? 7 days, I'll be 40. And I believe I'll be a live stream with Emily at that point in time because Thursday is my birthday.
On your channel next week. Perfect timing.
Yeah, it's perfect timing. But yeah, I mean, look at how much that is and how much we were like putting on sponges, wet sponges. So think about how much product you're just soaking up. Like that's a waste of shit. Yeah. I mean, think about how much you're wasting every time. Like that's honestly why we're literally going through a foundation every 30 days. You're going through it every 30 days because you're using like 3 or 4 pumps of it. 3 of those pumps are just stuck in the fucking sponge. Like, what are we doing with our lives right now? And like once I started realizing that, I was like, I'm using too much shit. This is insane. And I started just getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So the lighter I started doing my application, the more I liked it, the more I actually really enjoyed a full coverage foundation in a way that I hadn't enjoyed it before. And it also made me feel like I'm a big believer that you have a light coverage foundation, a medium coverage foundation, and a full coverage foundation. And it's all for depending what you're doing and depending on the weather, all that kind of stuff. Because you can be having like, you know, the kind of weather when you need to like really get this shit together. And then you also need other times. May 1st, birthday buddies. Yay. But I know, right? We're going to have a full-on birthday party. We're going to, yes, it'll be a birthday party. Everybody get your drinks together.
Oh, yes. Yes, that sounds like a great idea. We'll do a birthday stream on my channel.
Exactly. It's It's Taurus energy, y'all. I like that Leo energy though, but you can't be better than me. Moving on.
I don't think I've ever known as many Tauruses as I do now. And I'm like, oh, I like you guys.
We're good people. But you know what's upset is how embittered people are who dated Taurus. Here's why. They get embittered because if you tell a Taurus, like, I just want to slow down or whatever, Taurus is like, okay, then fuck you, bye. And we just move on with our lives. And then you're over there like, where did you, I was just saying, we're like, you all in or you all out, deuces. And that is where my deuces comes from. Deuces. Like, that's why I say deuces. Deuces. Hope you come, because that's where come from, that mad ass Taurus energy where we're like, you're either in or you're fucking out. And if you're out, then bye. And then they just don't know what happened. They're like, Taurus, because I just saw that on Twitter, like Taurus will dead ass never call you the fuck back if you tell them. I'm like, no, we won't.
You're just like, I'm done. You were done. I'm done. Okay, we're good.
If you tell me you don't want to date or you want to, I'm like, okay, bye.
Alex.
Tell me I'm cold. They're like, oh, see, thank you. They don't know how to handle. Listen, I'm all the fucking way in. But the second you step 1 foot out and you're like, well, I just need to, I'm like, well, then I just need to go. I don't have time for your bullshit. It's like a Taurus party in this bitch world. And we're right. We are right. Listen, I'm going to tell you this. If you get a Taurus to apologize, I mean, it's not going to happen, but if you did.
I like that you couldn't even finish the sentence because you're like, it's never going to happen.
Because we're like, listen, the Taurus is the I'm sorry you feel that way gang. Like, that's who we are.
Oh my God.
Like an preach about foundation. I'm sorry, I get so fired up about foundation. I don't know why I'm like this, because I think because I started getting into YouTube when they were slathering 97 products on top of your face before you even ever got to the blush, bitch. Like, you didn't even get there yet. They were still sculpting your face. And they're like, then you use this, and then you use that, and then you do this, and you're like, I'm a monster. And so by the time you're done being a monster and then like putting all this extra shit on, you're walking out like, nobody touched my face. Nobody don't let the sun hit me. Don't let the sun.
Yolanda's over here. I'm a Leo.
I love Leos. I can't date Leos, but I love Leos. I dated a Leo. It didn't go well because he tried to steal my spotlight, bitch. Get the fuck out. No, I'm just kidding.
Patience for BS. That's a good trait to have, in my opinion.
I probably old is bad for me because now it's like, and I say that, but I have to remember when like this ex-boyfriend I had when I was like 22, 23. Mm-hmm. I hated him. So that was before I had the wherewithal to just break up with someone. So he made us go to the movies like separately because I didn't want to spend time with him. And then as we left the movie, we're walking to our separate cars and he goes, you know, Audra, sometimes I get the feeling that you hate me. And what I said was exactly this. Well, oh my God. He still wanted to date me. I don't know why. I'm giving him every signal on because Taurus doesn't really like to hurt your feelings, like especially when it comes to romance. We're just like, maybe if I just make you dump me. That like Taurus is like, of all signs who force people to break up with them, Taurus number one. We're just like, and then they break up with you and they thought they did something. You're like, oh, it's about damn time. Like
me apologizing is like pulling teeth, but I had to learn. And then Feffy, okay, people ask me to apologize. I'm like, but what's the logical argument for me having to do that?
You know what? I'm like, I'm sorry that you feel that way, that I was completely right, but like.
The chat is on fire because Bethany slings her wishy-washy indecisive Gemini ass out the back, and then Alex comes through. I don't know what I did to deserve this betrayal. Her best friend, her partner, ex-partners, and absent dad are all Geminis. Oh.
Taurus did not date Taurus at BT dubs. I've dated 2 Taurus. One of them I married, and the other one I dated. It's not a good combination. It's supposed to be. It's not. I think it's because, like, here's the thing. Little secret. There's some Gemini living in here. And I am not the, like, first, and I've said this before, every Taurus is a dragon. Like, if we were personified as we're dragons. We have our treasures. And my whole house is treasures. And that's why I don't show anybody anything else. Like, I was going to show you all a house tour. I can't because of all my treasure piles. Okay.
I mean, you started it, but
so this is a Taurus too. If they're like, oh, don't make me start to tell you about yourself, because that means we've had enough. Like, we have literally tried to calm the situation every way. And you just kept going, I just think that you, and I just think that you, and you're like, oh, you think I? Okay. All right. Don't make me tell you about yourself. And then like, what do you, I'm like, don't make me tell you about yourself. And as soon as we get to the don't make me tell you should just let it go. Like, just be like, you know what? You're right. We're just done.
Yeah. If anyone starts that sentence with me, I'm like, I'm good. Also, I'm with you. I'm a Sagittarius as well. Although I'm right on the cusp for Scorpio. So.
Oh, shit. Some fire ass 6 though.
I like that Legal Lipstick said this because Kara C, who's not here anymore, is I think also a Gemini and a lawyer. Yes. We see all sides. I like this.
And I can only see mine. So sorry. We cannot help liking the finer things in life, ma'am, because listen, I can't, like, oh my gosh, you guys, I forgot to show you. So I think I showed this in my Instagram, but like, look at this. It's from a Liquid Vanity. It's a brush holder. I guess I used to have an issue where like stuff was coming through the eyes, but they like made the eyes like this. So I have a skull. Okay.
Coolest brush holder I've ever seen. Wait, I want to see something. This is the most, that's peak Gemini. What did Geminis do to you, Leona?
It is, you know what, and I try because that's why I tell people every time, I'm like, listen, if you date a Taurus, understand that we are earth signs. But we're like hobbits, like we like gold. We like things. So it's like everybody thinks Taurus is like so low key, like an earth sign. We are. But we want the fucking things. Give us all the things. Eventually we're gonna get tired of those things and we're gonna be like, fuck these things, but we're gonna still hoard them somewhere, like fact. And then if we break up with you, or if our friendship ends, we're gonna set everything on fire, like on fire. No joke. Like on fire. Legal Lipstick said, look, I will not accept this Gemini defamation. Yeah, so if y'all aren't opposed to Amazon, you can actually get this on Amazon. They also have a website, but it is Wicked Vanity. This is the shit. Like,
that's gorgeous.
I love it. The brush holder, I started putting brushes in it. I'm like, bitch, yes. And it will hold on my big brushes, which is what I want it for. I needed something to hold my big brushes.
Also, same, Alex. Gifts are my love language, but it's like, I'm just like, am I materialistic? Fine. Call me that if you want. I am.
Does food count as a gift? Because
yes,
I like food.
Yeah. Oh, y'all are amazing. I seriously can't believe that 20-something of you are still here hanging out.
I know.
Being absolutely ridiculous.
Like, I'm going to have to indulge in my nasty habit here soon. That sounds weird. It's just smoking. I know. Like,
I was like, I wonder which habit that is.
It's not chapters. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Alex. Food is a gift. If you like, and I've said this to every person I've dated, I've said, listen, if you take me to X restaurant, and it depends on what my favorite is at the time. Yeah. Right now, it's Luna Grill. Beach. If you get me Luna Grill, because it's Mediterranean, they have a delicious salad and the chicken kebabs and the rice. If you get that and you order that for me, I will understand that that is you saying you love me. So don't do that shit if you don't love me. It's so rude.
I like how it's not like give me all the gifts. It's like know the boundaries and then give me. You better know the boundaries and know what they mean, and then you are welcome to gift me.
Thank you. Like, understand that if you buy me this food, I am understanding that you are in love with me. If that is not your intent, because I was gonna have sex with you anyway. You didn't have to buy me food, although that helps. If you don't buy me food, you're definitely not getting sex, though. That's a fact. Definitely not getting sex. Sex is not happening if there's no food. No food, no sex. Fact.
I'm impressed that you're over 6 month no buy, Feffy. That's intense.
Damn.
Oh, Yolanda, that's some weighty. Scarred by every Gemini I've ever met, even my sister.
Damn it.
Oh.
My aunt Stella is mean as a steak. I love her, but she can be mean as a snake. She's a Gemini.
Yeah. Oh, I love pretty things, but have been close to tears. My partner has offered to pay for my meal, sweet snacks.
Alex, we on a wavelength, girl. We on a wavelength. If you buy me food or snacks, or if you send me food or snacks, I understand that you love me. Like, I'm like, I love you too.
It's the best. It's truly the best. Like,
although generally, like, my ability to like emote feelings in reality is like so terrible because I'm like.
You truly look like you're in so much pain.
I really do. I just like can't. Like I can't say anything. Like Kara has like been like, I really like you, and I'm like, I like you too. Feelings, bye. Like, I cannot. It is why like I can't begin my videos with like, hi friends, because like, oh, that's too intimate. It's like, hi guys. And I end it with, I love each and every one of you, because that doesn't make me feel crazy. Like, I'm like, I love each and every one of you, because like, then I don't have to focus on any one of you. And it took a while for me to get there, because I used to be like, all right, bye.
Just like, deuces.
Thank you. Like, emotional maturity. What the fuck is that?
Coming a long way. Came a long way.
It is. Thank you, Stinky Eggs. She said it's like flower language, but with food. I don't even like flowers. Like, don't fucking say. Like, I like flowers and it's nice, but send me food. Send me a bouquet of fucking food.
Seriously, don't waste your money on flowers. Like, they're pretty, but I don't need them as a gift. I'll give them myself.
Uber Eats to my office with lunch. Like when I was working, like that would have been the ultimate thing, like to send Uber Eats to my office with lunch. I'd be like, oh my God, baby, you're so amazing. Send me flowers. I'm like, whoa.
Great.
That's so nice. They're going to die in my house. I'm going to throw them away.
I also just think there's this like generic, like, you're a woman, you want flowers. I'm like, no, there's so many other things.
I want a plant. Actually, I prefer a plant to flowers, number one. Number two, I don't really like roses. Number three, Bethany just hit like the trifecta of, or quadrifecta. Is that a word? Like happiness.
Oh no.
I did not know that.
We're not going to say the names, but I'm going to put it on the screen. And my cat is sitting on my keyboard in case anything weird happens.
Three of them, you could just be like, fire. Okay, moving on.
This sounds amazing. 50 for Rocher for Yes.
Rocher.
They are
so good. Also,
this is
dark chocolate with coconut. What? Yes. Dark chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Who else has developed a quarantine alter ego? Please tell me you have.
Feffy. But here's the thing here. This is coming from my own personal bias. I think you can have emotional maturity without having a relationship. I think you can develop emotional maturity, by yourself.
It's better
Or
actually
with friends and family and loved ones.
You're right. I mean, honestly, it's better to develop outside of a relationship, if I was going to be honest, because you have it like, so I'm watching that bullshit, like Married at First Sight or whatever. And the thing that you realize about a lot of these people is they don't have any emotional maturity. And that's why they have difficulty having relationships. So now they're married and they're running into that. And they've never had to spend time ever figuring out like their reactions to shit. Yeah. Like, I know why I react to stuff. And I will tell somebody that. Like, if I date somebody, I'll be like, listen, I don't deal well with yelling. Like, my ex-husband yelled a lot. I don't like yelling. It turtles me. I don't like this. I don't like, and I will explain to you why I don't like those things. Like, listen, these things cause me to react this way. So like arguing as opposed to spirited discussion, two different things for me. If we're going to argue, I'm going to bow out. Mostly because I know I'm a Taurus and I will cut you down to the fucking ground with my words. I'm aware of that. So to avoid nipping you at your knees, I will just stop and I'll be like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's move on.
Like, let me not decapitate you. We're gonna keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that because I'm fully aware that when I want to, and I do this in my friendships and relationships, I make sure, like, if you have pissed me off in some way, I'm going to sit the fuck down. Like, if Emily made me mad, I'm going to sit the fuck down. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to ignore every message that she sends me until I'm calm enough to have an actual conversation that is not going to be mean, hurtful, and spiteful, because that's what Taurus does. But that's why we get mad at people who keep pushing us, because we said, like, we're not talking to you for a reason. Let me calm down. As soon as I'm calm, I can have a real conversation. But if I'm not calm, like, everything and the kitchen sink and your mama is coming right at you. Like, it's bad. Your chocolate courtship was not sufficient, tree birds? Well, fuck them. If they didn't appreciate your chocolate courtship, then like they can eat a bag of dicks.
See, Bethany, I've developed the most when I'm single.
And that is why I stay single and just accept the dick when I need it. Oh, that was live.
That's okay.
I'm like,
I mean, after reading so many historical romances, I've decided I'm a spinster unless someone hot who knows how hot I am and how much the world has been missing out comes along.
Yeah.
I'm in that camp too. I'm just like,
Plus, I told my
Is this going to be the marker of the end of the live?
Yes, because I can know I'm not that. I'm like, oh, the wine got a hold of me. I gotta let this shit go.
You just like stopped and was stuck in that moment.
I held that back pretty good, considering all things considered.
Steel trap activated.
You know what? That is amazing, considering my complete inability between brain and mouth. Like, those two things do not, like, everything just, and I'm like, sorry. Diarrhea of the mouth. Apologies. I have a whole other like embarrassing story about that we'll talk about it another time. I'll probably tell you Marco Polo tonight.
Yeah, we'll get ready for it. Also, yes, Alex, I love a good Freudian slip. Yes, I just made a couple people mods because I realized I wasn't looking at the chat. And I know we had creeped into the late hour where trolls can roll right in. So,
oh my God, Alex, it's so funny. By the way, you guys, if you do not follow Alex on Instagram, you totally should. One of the things that I personally love about her, I found her through Emily. It's not in there. Sorry. One of the things I personally love about her is that she does not have edited ass photos where she's pretending like her skin is like a fucking ice cream. Like, it's real skin. It is her real texture. And I stand that kind of shit because I'm so fucking tired of these Instagram photos that make us I mean, who the fuck are we? We're human beings. Everyone has pores. Everyone has lines. Every fucking body has texture. Like even babies have texture. They have fucking eczema. Like let's stop this bullshit acting like nobody has any texture in their fucking skin. So I really loved going to Alex's Instagram because it was just glorious to see somebody on Instagram who's like, this is what the fuck I look like. And I was like, go on, girl, you're gorgeous. And that's what I want to see. I want to see you be gorgeous as you, not the edited you.
Also, hey, Shay, caught us at like the tail end of the madness that is our lives. But yes, Alex's makeup, as Feffy said, is A+. And she does like manicure Monday stuff and empties and all kinds of good stuff. And wait, I want to be an ice cream, trust me. Yes, like I would love, like if everyone's skins just look like
thank you. If my skin was glass, bitch, but it's not. It's not, and it's unrealistic for us to keep thinking that that's what skin looks like. And I think it's bad for everyone's image. Everyone. It's bad for you to look at a photo that you've edited like that. I know that I can go back to like some old photos in my Instagram and see like the ones that I edited, and I don't like them. There was a video about me doing it. I don't like them because the reason I don't like them is because the photo, it's not that the photo wasn't good. It's that it caused me to have self-esteem issues from staring at a static image for too long. And it started making me feel like I was ugly. I'm not ugly. I know that. I know I'm not ugly. But doing that does make you feel ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also, crying. Also, it's so important to see unedited photos, especially unedited of yourself, because the other thing I always have to remind myself is that everyone's cameras, unless you are only shooting in like a DSLR super high-end camera, maybe not high-end, but just and only looking at raw photos, everyone's iPhone, everyone's smartphone, like those cameras aren't totally true to life anyway. So we're already seeing slightly edited versions of ourselves when we're looking at the photos just in the phone. Yeah. And so to then take it further to beyond, because like I'll play with like saturation or brightness, like I'll play with it because it helps with showing off the makeup. But to then go into like an app and go into a smoothing tool or an enlarging tool or all these different things, it's just like you don't even know what you look like by, after a while. Like you're just like, you'll look in the mirror and be like, who is this bitch? She's so ugly.
I know, because like we all, like Yolanda was saying that she misses pores, and Shenanigans has arrived, said I have cystic acne, I'm learning to embrace it. Fuck yeah, embrace it. Because the reality is you can't control the things that your skin does. I'm actually going to get off my ass and really start. I should have it filmed tomorrow. But I'm going to talk about this. The number one thing going on with a lot of people's foundation is literally your skincare and knowing what your skin does. There are things you can't control. I can't, like to a degree, I can control my oily skin, but to another degree, I can't. It's gonna be oily. If you have dry skin, you can control it to a little bit by using it, but to another degree, you can't. It's gonna be dry. So for us to sit here and act like this is the best skin or we need to see representations of everyone's skin, of everyone's flaws, of all the things that go wrong or right with our skin. I have like a mole on, I think I was showing it to them. I don't know that this foundation shows it, but I have a mole on my chin. Unfortunately, it was an outie mole. Not unfortunately, it's only unfortunately in the fact that I clipped it the fuck off. Like, we're not going to talk about this because I was 13 or 14. I didn't know. Yeah. But I didn't know that was the thing, and nobody even explained that. And it's things like that where I'm like, so nobody even told me about an outie mole. So if I had known that beforehand, I would have been like, I think I have an outie mole. But instead, I thought I had a zit. And these are the kinds of things that nobody talks to us about, is like our skin and all the different things it does, and the difference between like just acne, between having acne breakouts, having hormonal breakouts, having your food-related breakouts, having cystic acne versus regular acne. Like, there's shit that they don't tell you. So if you have cystic acne and you're using shit for regular ass acne, like, you don't know that. You're just listening to some person on YouTube who's telling like, I have acne and this is what I use. And you're like, oh, okay. But you don't know the difference between what they're talking about, and they don't tell you that. these are things that really actually bother me. I'm sorry.
No,
But like
I
I get soapbox about skincare and all this kind of stuff because I get really upset that we have all been watching these videos feeling like we have to look like these people and we can't. Because that's made up.
I think one of these times it's crazy hour in the house, but that's fine. They're doing their thing. One of these times maybe we could do an all 5, like, or I guess all 10 skincare.
Yes.
Top 5, because then you could really dig into some of the things you want to talk about that maybe you don't get a chance to talk about in a filmed video, because I feel like there's so much, like, even just for me discovering the difference or still trying to nail down the difference between treating dehydrated skin versus dry skin.
Yes.
Like the lack of like water in the skin versus like the like just those differences where I'm like, oh, you could be oily but also dehydrated.
Yes!
Like what? So yeah, there's so much to learn. And yeah, it's just, oh, and I just wanted to say, somebody else was saying, I agree with Legal Lipstick. When you edit your photos, you're not showing how the products actually perform. You're not showing the texture that might come from a certain eyeshadow or from a highlighter or a lip product. You're not showing, all those different things.
Yeah, I mean, that's even why, like, when I put on the Beauty Rest palette, that's actually one of the reasons why I did not even put on an eyeshadow primer for this, because I just wanted you to see exactly what it does without all the accoutrements. And that's why I like this, because I like that I don't have to do a lot of extra stuff. If I want to, I can make it bold as fuck with the same colors. But if I don't want to and I just want to swipe some shit on my lids, it's still going to perform.
Also, Bethany, you are here on YouTube, and that matters. So don't feel like you're weird about that either.
Yeah. You don't have to have a social media presence. Don't start now. Damn.
Also, I know Teresa is it, wait, never mind. I was going to say it, and then my brain just went, Beauty, Neon, no.
Neon
Raccoon Beauty.
Raccoon Beauty. I can't say all of it.
Raccoon. I'm doing a terrible job. That's not very helpful.
I'm sorry, Teresa. Hold on. Let me go over here and
I'm going to find it. Wait.
I'm looking right the fuck now because I know that I just literally was at her site. So, oh, here you go. It is Neon Cartoon Raccoon Beauty. I said booty, but it's beauty.
Yolanda. I think Audra has found my weird kink, skincare and foundation.
That's my kink, because it bothers the fuck out of me how much they'll be like, well, and they'll talk about a fucking foundation, and I'm floored. I'm going to tell you right now, as a preview to whatever I'm going to, if you have tried 5 foundations and none of them work, I'm guaranteeing you it's not the foundation. I'm guaranteeing you it is not the foundation. It is what you don't know what's happening with your skin, and you don't know how to take care of your skin and whatever's happening with your skin to get the right. I can wear any foundation now. I'm not kidding. Any foundation. All because I know how my skin behaves. And because I know that, I'm like, this is not a day to wear this foundation because XYZ is happening. That's why I always have too many foundations. I don't care.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not
listen,
out loud, but if you're watching the replay, just look at the screen right now.
Freebird, I'm unemployed. I'm going to have to do what I need to do.
No, but this is why I love talking, like listening to you talk about foundation and skincare. Because even earlier, I wanted to say when you were mentioning like the high quantity of foundation people would pump out, so many things that I think we complain about and are trying to like change in our little corner of the beauty community is changing this like basically very consumerist model for makeup and skincare, because using 3 pumps of foundation when you could use a half a pump, that's going through that foundation much faster, which an influencer would want, because that means you're going to go click on their referral link and buy it again and again and again, or they're going to buy a new foundation that you referred them to, or a new skincare thing. Yeah. So also
they're up again. Comment. they be messing with me.
Oh, but yeah, so like the more you talk about that kind of stuff, it makes me really happy, because I'm like, okay, this is the kind of thing that people need to hear.
Well, yeah, I mean, I am not the best at eyeshadow. I'm always going to say that. I'm okay. I'm not mad at it. But when it comes to your face, and I think it's because I spent years doing all of this fuckery to realize like, oh, if I do XYZ and this, there are just so many factors to your skin that you really don't think about. And you have a lot of people talking about skincare, but combination skin is often overlooked. A lot of times talk about normal, oily, or dry skin. Combination skin is overlooked, and a big reason it is overlooked is because nobody knows what to do with it because it changes so often. And I've been fucking with it my whole life. So I understand that like it's gonna be dry sometime, and I gotta watch and I figure out all these different things that flex and change to make my skin change, which means this particular moisturizer, like this foundation is not going to work on my face right now. It's going to work a month from now. It's going to work 2 months from now. It's not going to work right now. I'm going to get something else. I don't care. I don't care if I keep spending the money because foundation just, it lasts. I know that they have the like 12 months, but like.
As long as it smells the same or the texture hasn't changed, like the consistency, you know when your makeup is good or bad. And yes, agree. They will tell you to use, they'll tell you to slather it on like they should be telling you to slather on SPF. So that
they're over here like, now you put on your foundation.
Using a flat like paintbrush, just like painting it on, not blending it in at all. Just,
I know.
painting it on.
It's like, no, this is how I put it on. I'm like, why did you do that? You're hateful.
And Christine, I kind of agree. I don't understand. I understand why it's being done, but this whole skincare infused everything makes sense to me.
And I will give you like a quick thing. Like this has hyaluronic acid in it. My only issue with them having the skincare in your foundation is it does give it a different feel and a different finish, and it changes how it blends. So for instance, when I switched back and I went to use, this is my actual shade of Scream Queen. Oops. When I actually switched, I'm going to tell you, it took a little bit to get this to work because I was so used to kind of like glide. This had a very glidey feeling where this doesn't because it's a natural finish. It just kind of, that's what it does. We're getting used to them doing that. And the other reason I don't like it is because let's say you have dry skin. If you have dry skin, more than likely you may have had a toner that has hyaluronic acid in it to help you out. Then you probably have a moisturizer that has hyaluronic acid. Then you've thrown this on top. Now, the thing that people don't understand about hyaluronic acid is its intent is like it sucks the moisture out of the air and like pulls it into your skin. It's like sucking moisture. So if you have dry skin, you have 3 different layers of hyaluronic acid. Let me tell you, your skin is not going to be dry. You've more than likely overhydrated it at this point. I can't guarantee everybody has, but most people are going to have overhydrated their skin, and they're going to be sitting there wondering why this foundation isn't working because they're like, I have dry skin. This shouldn't be a problem. You use 3 different products that have hyaluronic acid in it. It's pulling moisture from everywhere, especially if you are in Texas. A large amount of Texas right now, except for West Texas, is humid.
Yeah.
What is humidity? It's fucking water. So your whole face is just sucking water from every location. And you're just over here fried chicken. Like you don't need that. That's the only reason I don't like it is because I think a lot of people aren't realizing what's in all of their different skincare to actually like balance that out. Like you don't need all of them. You just kind of need to pick one or the other. So I won't use, for me, a hyaluronic acid moisturizer because I have this and it has hyaluronic acid in it. So in order for this to be friendly to my skin, I don't need all that hyaluronic acid.
The other thing with something like hyaluronic acid is that if you aren't in a humid space, is it going to be helpful? Like that's the thing is that, and if it's that top layer of, if it's in your foundation, like how is that going to be more damaging? Because it's basically searching for hydration. It's not that it's only pulling hydration into your skin. It's searching for any hydration.
Yeah.
So I would almost think if it's on the, and this is like a very unscientific, very like my brain is trying to imagine it, but I'm thinking if it's that top layer that's foundation and you're in a dry atmosphere, then is it going to be pulling from the moisture like in from your skincare beneath?
Yes.
So that's why doesn't make sense to me to add in the foundation. For me, I'd rather have my skincare nailed, figured out, go in with whatever complex I want to, not have to worry about another like chemistry lesson.
Yeah, and that's actually going to make you look more sallow because it's going to pull moisture from everywhere that it can. So if you're in a dry area, if you have hyaluronic acid underneath, it's going to pull that.
Yeah.
So you have a foundation that's basically making you look like an old raisin bitch. Sorry.
Also, I mean, I feel you, old daily broad, about like I tend to slather on, especially my nighttime skincare, but anything close to that much foundation, and I'm just like, get it off.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the reasons I like to do a brush, because you can very much control. Like right now, I don't feel like my skin is gross. I'm not grossed out by touching my skin, but you can very much change the application of how much or how little you want on your face. If you just want to kind of do a quick dust, again, that's why I use that swirling motion on my hand and do all that. Because if I don't want all of that, I'm like, I just want a little bit. Let's go. And then I'm good. And I've used maybe a pump or half a pump, but I haven't slathered this shit on my face to where I'm like, hi.
Also, Diana, it's called marketing. It's the popular ingredient right now.
It is. Just like now, everything has fucking CBD in it.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see if you look back, like if you were to look back at like releases from even, let's say 2 years ago, you could probably identify a recurring ingredient, or 4 years ago. But right now, it's hyaluronic acid.
Yes, our daily broad, exactly correct.
Yes. And this is why I love this chat, because y'all have information, and that too is like spending a shit ton of money for a foundation infused with skincare. It's like, no, just give me a good foundation, give me some good skincare, call it a day.
Yeah, you don't have to have all of it. And the thing about these kind of foundations too is like, you can use them however you want. Like if you don't want to cover your whole face in it, you don't have to. You can just hit the areas. You can almost use like some of these full coverage foundations, you can kind of almost use them like a concealer if you just need like more coverage than your concealer has, and you're not in the mood to like fuck with your concealer. Like I'll just like kind of feather this on these little areas that are fucked up and I'll move on. Not fucked up, but you know what I mean. I have places on my face where I'm like, what happened there?
and I find the same is true in the inverse for a lot of concealers. I can use it as a spot, like spot placement and blend it out a lot. And it'll give me like enough coverage where I want it, and enough like overall coverage for like basically just diluting it, like turning it into a lightweight facial thing. It depends on the formula. If it's a really like dry concealer, like a Shape Tape that's going to dry down
Shape Tape.
more, no. But if it's like a more emollient concealer, I can usually like spread it out in a way that doesn't look heavy and it doesn't look cakey. So I think it's all about
Shape Tape for Halloween. If you want to look old as fuck, get some Shape Tape. No shade on Tarte, because I do like Amazonian Clay Foundation. I actually really do. But man, that Shape Tape makes you look like a dry old bitch.
Yeah. No, I couldn't imagine. Oh, sorry, cats. Couldn't imagine the camera shaking. Couldn't imagine going back to that now.
I'm about to get more ordinary stuff, because I don't think I fuck with ordinary. I've been messing with Instant Naturals, our daily broad. I keep wanting to say bread because like that's the normal. But yeah.
Oh, Bethany, thank you.
I know. Like, this is so awesome. I cannot believe there's still 23 of y'all here, and I have got to like, oh my, I've got to take this little dude. He's starting to give me like.
Oh, okay. Well, we can wrap it up. If anybody has any other questions that we can cover right now, let us know. I also wanted to say, if you've seen me use anything on my channel and like I haven't talked about it in another video, and you would like me to maybe bring it up in one of these videos, feel free to leave it in the chat now or in the comments.
Yes.
And same for Audra, if you've seen her use something and you're like, tell me more about that random brush or something, because that's a great way to like give you some more information. Because the reality is I could pick almost anything out of my collection and give you some good thoughts and maybe some not so good thoughts about it. And I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, and like literally there's like one product that I don't talk about, and it's because it's Morphe. And I don't support those bitches.
Yeah.
So I don't talk about it. And it's the only bronzer I have right now. I have another one. It's I don't know when it's coming. But so I'm just in the dregs of Morphe. That's like literally the only one I don't ever list because I'm like, I'm not. I don't want y'all going over there and giving them your money.
Yeah, exactly. And we're both.
Thank you.
I was gonna say yes. Oh, good night, Teresa. Don't worry about the alternate account. We know who you are. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And you can also find us both on Instagram and Twitter. Audra at home everywhere. I'm Nomnivorous over there on Instagram and Twitter. And oh, I meant to say this earlier. Somebody sent me a little Venmo for $2. I think Jennifer, thank you for that. I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you everybody just for hanging out with us, for being so amazing. And I think that's everything. Oh, Diana, I did put an order for Kristen Lee. So Kristen Lee Cosmetics. I don't know when it's going to show up. Whenever it does, I'm sure I'll talk about it. But until then, I don't have any specific thoughts. I think I need to check in and see what their lead time is. I placed a couple of orders last Friday-ish for a couple of different places. So I'll be sprinkling those in on my channel. But I don't know when I'm going to get any of those things because it's a little bonkers out there, but that's okay.
I need to thank Jennifer as well because I noticed that she also sent me some money in CashApp, so thank you. I'm not used to seeing that, so I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank
and
you.
there's a Snapchat from the weird guy. Moving on.
Thank you to everybody. I hope you're all having a great night, and thanks again for hanging out with us. We're gonna head out. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
And